On a dreadfully rainy night, at the gates of the Black Death sect, a single man stands, drenched from top to bottom. As lightning strikes, the hundreds of Black Death sect members reveal themselves, and one of them screams out, "The nameless swordsman is here. He is here." They all charge in, from above and below, but the swordsman swiftly reacts, pulling out his blade and cutting through the first that were charging, leaving them limbless. The others stop to encircle him, but with one silent dash, he cuts the heads off one side, before landing at another and charging through them. A bulkier man than most charges at him from behind with his spear, thinking that he finally got him, but the swordsman needn't even look at him, as he dashes through his very essence and splits his cranium in half, revealing his brain. The rain covers the sound of screams and wails, and eventually, the swordsman is done. Only death lies on the ground. Further into the sect, the Black Death Master awaits him, an old man, wiser than most. The nameless swordsman approaches him silently, the old man looking at him sternly as he says nothing. He wonders if he is a swordsman of justice, as he is described, but why is he wrapped up that tightly? The nameless swordsman says he was never about justice. It confuses the man. Why did he hunt and kill even the last remnants of the unorthodox faction? The nameless swordsman reveals his true colors. He is no righteous swordsman, but a demon made flesh. The Death Sect leader laughs. He must admit, he has deceived everyone well. The nameless swordsman notes he deceived nobody. They simply believed what they wanted and he let them. The old man finds him quite interesting. Even if he must cross the river of death, he won't leave with any regrets. He should be wasting his time. Whether he is a nameless swordsman or not, he is here to do one job: kill him. The nameless swordsman pulses a violent red, as the old man's blade glows a more stable blue, and as soon as another drop of water falls on the ground between them, they charge at each other. The rain becomes more violent because of the wind, and as it continues pouring, the nameless swordsman is the only one leaving the once great Black Death sect. Some time passes, and in a mountain where the blossoms fall year-round, where blood has been spilt, a combination of a bunch of sects has gathered at the gates of another sect. One of them wonders if this is truly the Manhwa sect. The monk begins to pray for their souls, and another believes that this is the work of a demon who dared to drench this beautiful mountain in blood. That's when they see someone approaching them. It's a member of the Manhwa sect, his blade broken, his clothes in tatters, claiming that the sect was wiped out. The people are glad to see him, but before he says the next part, they are wiped out by just one man. Suddenly, the last member of the Hua sect is annihilated, his hands and feet flying in the air, the blast creating enough force to blind the others. One of them demands that the attacker show himself at once, and he does so slowly. He recognizes every sect here: the Shaolin, Wudang, Qingcheng, and Namgung. They have gathered in quite a crowd, it seems. The Wudang leader demands silence, and also to know his identity, and why he has committed such a grave sin. The nameless swordsman came here because people said Manhwa was the strongest sect there was, but well, that turned out to be just rumors. The other sect leaders recognize the head of the Manhwa sect, and the swordsman guesses that since they all came together, they must be at least stronger than the Manhwa sect, right? The Wudang leader tells him to shut it. Here and now, they will drag his soul to hell, and the souls of Manhwa will find their rest after his death. They all charge in, using different advanced techniques, but the swordsman just smiles, as this place really is fun. It turns out this is just a man playing a VR game. He takes it off shortly though, as it seems that an attack from that many people is still too much after all. He is playing Murim online, a recently developed virtual reality game, known for its gore and extreme violence. And though it's flooded with complaints, demanding it be shut down, there's no other game like it. He turns on the TV, thinking that he has to be more discreet next time. The news blares about one Mr. No of Data Corporation having gone missing since morning, and as the man thinks, he hears a cry for help, a pleading. He completely forgot that he had guests. He picks up the sledgehammer that was by his side, and the one who was crying, Mr. No himself, pleads to be helped. The man asks if he really wants his help, and No doesn't know why he kidnapped him, but he really did nothing. The man drops a bunch of pictures down next to him, revealing that he is a piece of trash who is irredeemable. If he really did nothing wrong, then he wouldn't have been here. No says that he's repenting, so why is he not sparing him? The man grabs his head, as this phrase he keeps repeating, is it not getting a little old at this point? As he raises his sledgehammer to finish him, No charges at him, pushing him away before getting out of his restraints. He picks up the sledgehammer and says that he's as good as dead, making the man smile, just like he does in the game. No charges in, but he dodges and strikes his side with so much force that it almost sends him hurling. But he's not done yet. He kicks his face in, causing the fat ass to land on his back. He tries to crawl away toward the door, not wanting to die despite all the suffering that he caused. Most humans act like herbivores, and among the carnivore majority, they attack, hunt, and devour those weaker than themselves. As for him, well, he is the apex, the one who hunts those carnivores. No completely freaks out, demanding that he not come closer, that he stay away. Suddenly, the door bursts open, and an entire army of policemen charges in, demanding he freeze. The main detective calls out Bongsu and explains that, on suspicion of kidnapping, false imprisonment, and murder, he is now under arrest. Bongsu wonders how the cops found this place, and the detective tells him to freeze, as these are live rounds in his gun. Looking at this situation, Bongsu thinks it's similar to the one in the game. He asks if he's aware that this man killed a total of 6 women, tortured them, took pictures while doing it, and then killed them. The corpses behind him are all the same, most of them murderers, or worse. These men are with less than animals. They are carnivores that hunt people for sport, and he is the one who hunts them. Does he not get it? The one he should be shooting isn't him, but this fat bastard behind him. The detective wonders what he should do then, because all he sees now is a psycho who kidnaps and kills people. Bongsu laughs. He thought talking to a cop wouldn't amount to anything, and he was right. He suddenly swings his sledgehammer backwards, and the detective demands he stop. But Bongsu completely shatters No's head, just as the detective shoots. Bongsu knows he's dead, but if he gets another chance at life, he hopes it's filled with beasts he can kill as much as he wants. A place like that Murim game. As the bullet penetrates his skull, Bongsu's entire being recalls his memories, his dying wish, and suddenly, he wakes up shocked, as he was definitely shot. An older, plainly dressed man is over him. He was certain he died, but he's alive? Bongsu just looks at him, causing the fat man to grab him and ask if he knows what a pain it was to drag his ass here from the marketplace. Maybe he should really kill him, but well, he will let him live until tomorrow. Bongsu's instincts kick in. He picks up a rock and tries to go over to the fat man, but his entire body aches, like one giant nerve. As he falls, he sees his arm, and feeling himself, he realizes that this body is not his. He wonders what these gashes on him are, but as he looks outside, he realizes what this place is. The name. It was Murim, wasn't it? Bongsu puts his hand on his face and looks at the ground, ecstatic to the point of tears. His dying wish, it came true. He has been transported to the world of Murim, where only the strongest survive. Before all of this, the original owner of this body, Sosam, was just a farm boy. That day, one Machil came bursting in, noting that he had a job for him to do, while also noting that it smells here. Sosam told him that he was not done cleaning the stables yet, causing the man to grab his mouth and wonder if it seemed like he was asking. Just because the Donri clan is housing and feeding a stuttering orphan like him, he seems to constantly be forgetting his place. He is merely a slave, and nothing else. After that, Sosam went with the fat old man, Dong-o, with the merchant thinking that it would be Machil who would come. The fat man noted that he was like that sometimes. Machil is at the Phoenix Tavern with that scamp of his, having a drink, or perhaps more. The merchant didn't care either way, but wondered if it wouldn't be tough to carry all of this in only 2 people. Dong-o laughed, as right here, he has a perfectly good carry horse to use. Sosam coughed as he tried to recover from the punch, and Dong-o asked what he was doing. He should get to carrying those weapons. That's when Dong-o also realized he had plans at the tavern, so unfortunately, he will have to do all of the heavy lifting today, so he should work hard. The merchant pitied Sosam, but there was nothing he nor Sosam could do. With that, he got to work on himself, carrying all of the blades in a barely sewn together tarp, which eventually came apart because of the blades, forcing Sosam to carry it like a dog. The merchant congratulated him, but he should really be resting now, as he looks like someone who is on the verge of death. Sosam, who was completely exhausted, both physically and mentally, said he was fine. As he walked, he wondered if he truly wanted to continue this pathetic life of his. Unfortunately, he accidentally bumped into a larger man, and before he could even apologize, the man punched him squarely in the face and began beating him down. Sosam, in his last moments, wondered where it all went wrong. Was it when his family died in the typhoon, and he was the only survivor? Was it when he knocked on Danri's family gates just to survive? Perhaps it all went wrong the moment he was even born in a place like this. Bongsu wakes up, body still sore from the beating, and makes his way toward the water the horses were drinking. So Sosam was the name of this kid. He had a really shitly life. This seems to be the stable from those memories. In that case, Sosam really got beaten to death back then, and he has entered his body. Besides that though, he should be focused on this thing next to him, the status window from Murim Online. As he walks with a bowl of gruel in his hand, Machil wonders why he's the one who has to do work like this. Is he the only one in the entire clan who can clean up that bastard's mess? It's his fault, as he should have gone straight to the stables after work and not walk around foolishly. It was just his luck to run into Peng Dorang, a guy famous for his rotten temper and violent nature. He damns his fate for having to clean up after such a pathetic little worm. He, the great Ma Chill. Perhaps should he just kill him for real? But no, that's too risky. If he gets caught, it will be his head on the chopping block. He kicks the stable doors open and throws the gruel at Sosam's feet, asking why he had to survive and cause him so much trouble. Bongsu smiles. It has been 2 weeks since he has awoken into this place. In that time, he gathered the following information about this guy and the outside world. First, the people here use Chinese characters, but this is not China. That is because of martial arts, which are fantastical techniques, once thought possible only through fantasy. People flying around on blades and moving faster than light itself. That is what these people are training for. In this world, the martial arts of fantasy are real and breathing. It's like a real-life version of Murim online. Secondly, he has this status window and system. What's certain is that this Murim online status window actually works, and it appears that only he can see it. At first, because of this window and the existence of martial arts, he thought he was still inside of the game, but this is an undeniably real place. The people of this world have their own emotions, and they move as if they are alive, like any living organism would. This brings a question though. Is he a human or a player? As he closes the status window, Dong-O comes, noting that it seems he is living the good life here, while some of them got a major chewing out and even got punishment because of a certain idiot. He's been waiting for this, hasn't he? Suddenly, Bongsu rises to his feet and finishes the remaining gruel he had in his bowl. Dong-O believes this is disrespect, but as he goes to slap him, Bongsu breaks the bowl, creating a sharp shard that he lodges directly into the fat bastard's neck. He has claimed his first kill in this world, and tells him that the kid he once knew, a pathetic worm, died long ago. Dong-O tries to resist, but Bongsu just raises the shard in his other hand and begins to cut into his flesh again and again, making his pig blood spray out again and again widely, creating a shower of red. Bongsu feels the warm sensation on his skin. It does not matter if he is a human or a player at this point, just as he thought. This place is reality, the great law of this world. Something he felt from this bastard and Ma Chill is that the weak are prey of the strong, and the strong are revered. If it is a place like this, he can hunt to his heart's content without having to hide his true nature. There are people like him, no, even more monstrous than him, that are surely roaming this jungle they call a society. As soon as this body recovers, he will continue the hunt. In here, the land of the strong and the weak. In here, in this new Murim, he will start a new life. As Dong-O's body rots in the dirty stables, Bongsu looks at it without much emotion in his eyes. Usually a guy like him would not even be worth hunting, but there is one thing that he needed to confirm. He opens up his inventory, but it feels different. The inventory in the game was a slot-based system, with one item per slot. But this one is just a large, open space, it seems. He puts his hand through it, and feels just how massive it is. A couple of 100 square meters, perhaps? He looks at Dong-O's body, and remembers how it worked in the game. He puts his hand over the pig's face and thinks of storing it in the inventory, making his body immediately disappear inside, along with all of his blood. This is an incredibly useful ability. He can surely use this. But if he can store a body, can living things go in too? And if they can, will they still be alive? Well, he will have to experiment just a bit more, it seems. As night turns to day, Bongsu continues his duties, trying to play his part, and he sees how the people here are walking, their mouths clean, but their words betray only lies and unnecessary thoughts. He feels someone come from behind, but doesn't react. Ma Chill slaps him across the head, having heard that he'd become mute. Bongsu plays it off, and Ma Chill tells him to stop slacking and go take that horse for a walk. Bongsu bows, still faking that he is mute, and Ma Chill wonders what he's supposed to do with a guy that can't even speak properly anymore. As Bongsu walks around the market with the horse, he analyzes everyone, how they dress, how they walk and talk. But suddenly, he sees something in particular standing out in a corner of stand. It's a bunch of children, with one of them throwing a rock at his head. They begin calling him Stupid So-Sam, having heard that he can't speak anymore. But suddenly Bongsu lets out his aura, making even the horse uncomfortable. One of the kids rubs his eyes, thinking he isn't seeing right, and Bongsu turns right back to the Stupid So-Sam. Seeing him walk away, they continue to pelt him with rocks, not knowing the demon they are trifling with. A while later, Ma Chill lets out a heavy sigh, as someone like him shouldn't be stuck cleaning weapons. He is a great warrior after all. That bastard Dong-O hasn't shown up in days either. Just where has he gone? Probably dead in a ditch, as he always started something with someone. As he goes to open the door to the armory, he sees So-sam get out of it, wondering what the hell he was doing inside. Just by taking a peek, he sees that the armory, blades included, is all spotless. Did he really do all his work? Bongsu bows his head in agreement, and Ma-chil thinks that after the near-death experience, this bastard changed completely. He's working hard, and even doing things he wasn't asked to do. Perhaps he finally become a proper human. Bongsu pulls out a pouch with gold coins and gives it to Ma-chil, who begins laughing hard, as he finally learned how the world works. He pats him on the back, telling him to keep up the good work, and walks away hidly. Bongsu can't help but smile, as he doesn't even realize that the pouch is his fare for the afterlife. Ma-chil walks happily across, instead of bowing his head every day. One also needs to know how to be flexible like this. Since his pockets are full today, instead of Eng, he will go see that other feisty vixen he's been hearing so much about, Chozion. He makes his way to the Phoenix Tavern, where the doorman greets him warmly, not expecting to see him again today. Ma-chil immediately tells him to get Chozion, and the doorman wants to get him Eng at first, but then here's what he says, and he is rather shocked by his request. The doorman doesn't know what to do, and in response, Ma-chil shows him the money, which makes the doorman immediately note that if he waits in the room at the end of the second floor, his choice will be there right away. Ma-chil waits impatiently for Chozion to arrive, and eventually she does, making him think that Eng cannot even compare to her beauty. She crouches down and pours him a drink, and as he enjoys her company, a familiar eye appears in the cracks of the walls. It seems that somehow, Bongsu has made his way into the walls themselves. As Ma-chil left, the doorman thought that he just had to pick a girl that is young enough to be his daughter. But well, money is money after all. Suddenly another customer came, whom he recognized as So-sam. He heard he was mute too, but does he even know where he is? He tells him to get lost. But suddenly, Bongsu produced a bag of coins and asked for Eng. Seeing that the money he produced is real, he tells him to wait in a room, as he will bring her right away. Unfortunately for him, Bongsu is not here for those kinds of affairs. As Ma-chil dresses up, he looks at the exhausted Chozion and thinks that he still has it. But that's when Bongsu's hands make their way around his neck, and using his tied bandages, he begins to choke him out. He tries to fight back, pushing downward as hard as he can, and he does fall on Bongsu, but he continues choking him. The thrill of the kill, the sound of Ma-chil's breath leaving him entirely giving him more pleasure than any woman ever could. After he is done, he looks at Choseon, who is still fast asleep. He gets up and looms over her, looking at her fair complexion and the situation she's in. He sees that she's an herbivore. She has neither the will nor the strength to protect herself. He goes to a nearby wall, and using a store in his inventory, opens up the partition there, allowing him to move freely between rooms. It's a good thing he practiced this, as it will be a great help in his future hunts. He opens up his status window, and just as he expected, he has gained a few experience points. It seems that killing people is what gives him this, and with enough experience points, he can level up, which will make him stronger, and being stronger will make it much easier to hunt. If hunting becomes easier, he can get experience faster, meaning that in this world, he can become infinitely strong. Truly, what wonderful gift he has been given. After relishing in his situation, he looks down at Ma-chil and puts him in a portrait, thinking that it's a real shame there are no cameras here. Outside of the rooms, Eng finally arrives, tired from all the running she did to get here. The doorman asks what took her so long. She should hurry up and go inside. The customer may be mute, but his money sure as hell isn't. She immediately does so, apologizing for making him wait so little. And now the doorman moves on to more pressing matters, as Ma-chil hasn't come outside yet. Are they trying for a child in there? He clears his throat and gently knocks on the door, noting that a lot of time has passed, so they should both come out, as they need some rest. Seeing that nobody is answering, the doorman thinks that they are willingly ignoring him, and just as he is about to storm in, angry as all hell, he hears a blood-curdling scream coming from inside. He opens the door immediately, seeing Choseon in a state of shock, and above her, something that makes him fall on his fat ass, the lifeless body of Ma-chil, whose corpse has been strung up. Manhwa is in the north, where the Huai River flows, and in the center, the Yangtze River flows, forming an expansive plain. This land has been known since ancient times for its rich, fertile soil and the intersections it had with many lakes and rivers, which allowed commerce and trade to bloom. Where money gathers, though, thieves and ruffians are bound to appear just the same. As hordes of bandits and villains from the unorthodox faction ran rampant, many rose to defeat them, and many clans and sects dedicated to upholding the code of the Murim were established in Anhui. Among them, the most prominent clans were the Namgung clan, one of the 5 great clans of the Central Plains, and the great sect in Anhui, and the Donri clan, although it can't be compared to them, has the family's specialized fighting force, the Cross Heaven Sword Division, and with its intelligence and law-enforcing group, the Black Crow Squad, its reputation became well known throughout all of Anhui. The Black Crow Squad's information-gathering abilities, in particular, are so formidable that even the beggar sect, which would be offended to be called second best when it comes to that, has no other option but to concede that the Black Crow Squad is superior in that aspect. Recently, however, that very Black Crow Squad has been struggling with a new case. The leader, Gidaihyo, is informed of another self-inflicted death. Over the past month, nearly 100 people have died like this. There have always been people who have had enough of life, but it was 1 or 2 per month, and even then, never this many. What is the strangest thing of all is how perfect the cases are. The evidence and circumstances of every single case perfectly point to self-death. But is that truly possible? He asks his assistant who was first to die like this, and he explains it was some armory artisan from the clan, a man who went by the name Ma Chil. Daihyo asks if he means the Danri clan, and the assistant confirms as such, causing the leader to stroke his beard as he asks where he ended his life, and the assistant notes it was at an inn, the Phoenix Tavern. With that, Daihyo rises and notes that they should go, but the assistant believes there's no reason for the squad leader himself to go there. Daihyo knows he has to see it for himself, and after they arrive, the doorman takes them to the room where it all transpired. He explains that Choseon found Ma Chil hanging from the rafters, just after she was done with him. Daihyo wonders, if all of these deaths are actually an elaborate string of murders, how did the culprit get into this room and kill this man? He opens the door and searches every nook and cranny, but there's no way for a culprit to enter unseen. However, he knows how these places are built. If these logs that act as walls are removed, it would provide a free passage. The problem is that they have never been removed. He asks the doorman if there is any way to remove these logs without removing the roof, and he immediately denies such claims. These logs are set in grooves in the ceiling and floor beams. It's impossible to pull them out without ripping them apart or taking out the beams first. Daihyo is beginning to doubt if this was really murder, and asks if there was anyone in the room next door to them. The doorman confirms as such that the guest probably arrived around the same time as Ma Chil. It was Sosam, of the Danri clan. As Bongsu walks around with the horse, he looks at his stats. The experience points he gained from the man he killed the other day were greater than the ones he killed before. That man must have been a martial artist then. It seems that killing someone stronger yields greater amounts of experience points. However, if he fights a proper martial artist now, he will definitely lose. Even the weakest warrior is much stronger than his, so he needs prey that can bridge the gap between commoner and martial artist, like the bastard he killed the other day. As he walks, someone calls out his name, noting that he has gotten a lot more handsome since the last time they met, but he should be greeting his elders properly when he meets them. As they wonder if he's ignoring them, Bongsu asks if these are street thugs, but no matter how much of a loser Sosam was, he is still a member of the clan. Did he really live this life, getting pushed around like useless scum like this? Suddenly, one of the bandits pulls him by the hair, as they need to have a little private conversation. As he is getting pulled, Bongsu wonders if he could kill them here, and make it look like suicide. If he puts the bodies in his inventory and dumps them elsewhere, perhaps then, but no. If he makes a scene, there's a risk of being discovered. It's not like he will get much experience from doing that anyway, so he will take a beating and get rid of them later. Just as the bandit is about to pummel him for getting so plump and pretty, someone comes from behind and tells them to stop, as he did tell them to bring him in nicely. Did they not? The bandits immediately fear the sight of Jang Ho, who goes to Bongsu's horse and notes that it's quite a fine beast. Their dark society leader is a man who is crazy about horses, so he was thinking of presenting this horse as a gift. What does he think? Seeing his blatant killing intent, Bongsu guesses his goal is to kill him and take the horse. Unfortunately for him, he chose the wrong person to consider prey. Jang Ho closes in on him, noting that even with him thinking about it for so long, he does not ask for anything twice. Bongsu asks why he doesn't just kill him then, and as the bandits are surprised by his talking, Bongsu puts his hand in front and activates inventory, causing a blade to come out and stick into Jang Ho's neck without him being able to do anything. Suddenly, the scene explodes with a violent energy, as Bongsu has leveled up. He begins approaching the bandits, his aura having increased 100-fold, and the bandits know they have no chance of running, so they will all charge at this demon and kill him. Unfortunately, it doesn't take long for the last bandit to run away in fear throughout the alley, wondering what the hell that thing even is. Just as he's about to reach the street, his foot flies off, but he cannot die here. Like a total loser, a human money printer, they would all laugh at him and beat him up as he handed over the cash. He was just trying to do a favor and make some easy money. Bongsu kicks him unconscious and begins dragging him back in the dark alley, where the sun and the good of the world never shine. Eventually, the man wakes up with a loud gasp, asking why the demon is here. He knows he messed up by saying that, and Bongsu puts a blade to his neck, asking who the guy who got cocky was. The bandit asks if he's talking about Jang Ho, and Bongsu confirms as such. He said he was from somewhere. The bandit confirms that he's from the Black Society. They are one of the evil sects that rule the black alleys of Bongyang. Jang Ho was an executive in that place. Bongsu understands, but he mentioned a leader, didn't he? The bandit rapidly explains that the leader of the Black Society is called Bang Po Yom. It was that bastard who ordered Jang Ho to kill him and steal his horse. Bongsu understands that these wicked sects and the Black Society have a hierarchy and a boss. It's basically like the organized crime syndicates of this world. Bongsu tells him he did a good thing, but if he continues telling him everything he knows about the wicked sects and Black Society, he might just let him live. The bandit is very glad to hear this, but naturally, after explaining everything, Bongsu kills him and puts him in the inventory. That was the last of them, so he sits down to analyze all of the important information he learned today. The wicked sects, he was looking for some leveling fodder somewhere between commoner and martial artist, and he just happened to stumble on the perfect targets. From now on, he will be preparing to hunt these guys. He also leveled up, and with that, his old injuries are completely gone. Even the scars on his hands and body vanished. Would this even work if his heart or brain were damaged, perhaps? If he is close to leveling up, he could probably afford to take some risks, just to test it out. And then, there was that light, the light that filled the entire alley during his level up. That is a downside, as it's flashy, and it's likely to attract unwanted attention. He needs to hide it, along with the inventory he used to kill. A hunter hiding among his prey must appear ordinary. When one loses most like everyone else, that is when they become the ultimate hunter. He should only level up once the hunt is finished. He picks up the reins of the horse and walks out of the alley, thinking that if Jang Ho had been more cautious or stronger, he would have been in trouble. It seems that his mute camouflage isn't going to be enough anymore. He must get stronger fast, without anyone knowing, by killing more powerful beasts. Just as he is done thinking that, Daehyo puts a hand on his shoulder and asks if he is the one who killed Ma Chil, immediately imbuing his hand with chi. Just before this, Bongsu encountered a critical system error. Proceeding with the game will be difficult, but possible. He got it just after reaching level 2. In fact, the cause is probably him. He should not really exist in this world, yet the game system is running alongside him. This friction was bound to cause some kind of issue. But then again, isn't the fact that he's here the ultimate error? Since he had no reason to dwell on it, he closed that tab and went to the main interface, where he saw that the stats, which were once just question marks, were now gauge bars. Perhaps it's another error, or maybe it's because reality can't be quantified like a game. He opens the skill tab, revealing all of the skills, like slash, thrust, block, and strike. Common passive skills granted to every player upon creating a character. But what about this spirit eye skill? He has never seen it before, and there's no separate description either. Just what could it be? Suddenly he met the activation conditions, because an enemy at least 10 levels higher than him has approached within 20 meters, and those meters keep going down. Bongsu recognizes that it's some kind of early warning system, so he got up, thinking that they shouldn't be enemies. There aren't many people brave enough to break into the Danri clan, and even if they did, an intruder would not be moving so slowly. This means that the person approaching him must be a master from within the clan. He doesn't know how big a 10-level gap is, but considering the amount of work he had to put in for level 2, the difference must be massive. How many civilians does he have to kill to reach that level? Thousands, tens of thousands maybe. The person approaching him was as strong as all of those souls combined, and among the clan, the most likely candidate. He knows who it is. Daehyo burst through the door without even knocking, and Bongsu immediately acted confused. That's when Daehyo put his hand on his shoulder. Bongsu acts the fool, but Daehyo still rushed ki through his entire body, feeling his very soul, but his martial arts were empty. He lets go, sighing as he turns to leave. As they do leave, Bongsu looks at them with killing intent, having attained a new target he will one day take the life of. Daehyo's assistant asks why they suddenly left without doing a proper interrogation. Was he not suspicious of that boy? Daehyo was. That's why he infused chi into his body to check his pulse. If he had practiced even the most basic martial arts, there would have definitely been a trace of it at least. However, he was empty. Not a single drop of internal energy was in him, and he was just an ordinary kid who had never touched a martial art. He begins to wonder if those people truly were not murdered and really did it to themselves. If this really is a plague, how many lives must it claim before this comes to an end? On this night when the moon shone brighter than ever, and contrary to what Daehyo feared, the suicide plague had vanished from this city, and instead, a new kind of slaughter began to permeate throughout the city. On another of these moody nights, where the rain falls mellowly. Inside a tavern, two friends talk over a drink, one of them asking if he's heard the news. The other friend asks if he's talking about the nameless hero, as everyone is talking about him these days. The first friend notes that it's Lord Nameless Hero. That man is busy slaughtering all those wicked sects. The other friend tells him to keep his voice down, or someone will hear him, but the first friend doesn't care. Half of those high and mighty wicked sects, like the White Tiger Hall and Red Wolf Clan, have been wiped out. The other friend tells him that there's still one left, the Black Society, and if they hear him, it won't end well. The first friend notes that their time is coming soon too. Their great nameless hero is going to smash them into pieces. Bongsu walks out of this tavern, having heard the ramblings of this drunken man, but it does not matter to him. He makes his way through the gloomy night, right in front of his next slaughter. The guard positioned at the gate is having a bit of a snooze, but his supervisor silently approaches and knocks him on the back of the head, asking if he really is sleeping. He should get it together, as he doesn't know the nameless hero is on a rampage as they speak. He's already wiped out 3 of their rival sects. They are the only ones left. Hearing him not answering, the supervisor gets mad and goes for another slap. But the guard is already beheaded, his blood painting the wet ground. The supervisor sheepishly tries to draw out his blade, but he knows that it's too late, and his head slowly falls to the same level as the guard he just berated. Bongsu looks at them for a bit before opening the gates, walking in without worry. Suddenly, though, a flurry of arrows appears, and he dodges, seeing that the entire sect is waiting for him. One of them notes that they knew he should show up in the night, just like the rat he is. They all stand still for a moment, even the rain seemingly stopping as both sides prepare to strike. As soon as it thunders again, the sect attacks all at once, jumping on Bongsu from all sides, but his blade suddenly becomes as red as the blood of his enemies. As he activates the sweeping of 1,000 armies, he unleashes a slash so wide that he takes down a few dozen men at once, before continuing his rampage through their ranks. The warriors look back at one of their stronger warriors for support, who charges in with his mighty spear, vowing to take his head. But Bongsu grabs a lower-ranked warrior and smashes him into the higher-ranked one, before piercing both of them with his thundering blade. Seeing him focused on unleashing as much pain as possible, a mighty warrior comes from behind, charging in with another spear. But Bongsu just looks at him, not even removing his blade as he uses inventory, cutting the man's cranium in 2. As Bongsu is distracted by watching this man die, another comes and actually manages to pierce him, making Bongsu fall back on the ground. He finally got a hit on him. He was carving up his boys like he was carving through bread, so he thought he was some kind of malevolent beast. But after all, he is just a human, isn't he? A human whom they can kill, as they have done thousands of times. Instead of despairing or pleading for help, Bongsu removes the sword fragment stuck in him, and also takes off his hat. The leader is confused now, and a little afraid, as he shouldn't be laughing. Bongsu charges in with much more fervor than before, as things become much more fun when his life is on the line. As the screaming slowly but surely dies down, one of the weaker, cowardly warriors who is outside of the sect wonders if they are all going to die to just one guy. They were just shaking some people down for change, did a bit of human trafficking, sold some girls and booze, and only killed people that were considered less than by everyone. He damns it all. There are so many people worse than them in this world. But why did this happen to them? Just because the others are strong and they are easy targets? He knows that he has to kill him right here and now. This back path he's hiding in, it leads directly to the leader's estate, the Paradise Manor. All they have to do now is wait for him, as they have the advantage in the dark. As soon as they see someone appear from the sect, he screams out to fire, and hundreds of arrows fly in the direction of what they saw. They wonder if he really is dead, but suddenly, all of the shooters behind the cowardly man die immediately, one after another, painting the floors with blood. Seeing this, his body subconsciously draws his blade and asks if he's the nameless hero. Just what does he want from them? What did they do to him that was so wrong? Bongsu doesn't answer. Instead, he just looks at him just as a wolf would look at a lamb. The man can barely let out a few more words as Bongsu cuts off his head. After all, the only thing he yearns for is their lives. He has left the entire sect in shatters. Their bodies are the only thing remaining, and the leader of the Black Snake sect, Bang Po Yom. First, he went after the White Tiger unit. While he did level up thanks to killing Jang Ho, he was still weak compared to the Black faction members, so he decided to lure, ambush, and even set them on fire. Those were just a few methods he preferred. By the time the White Tiger unity leader became alarmed by the situation, more than half of his men were already dead. In the process, the officials and townspeople gave him and his killing spree the title of the Nameless Righteous Swordsman. After obtaining this new mask in the shape of a title, it became even easier to dispose of the unorthodox factions. When he killed the White Tiger unit leader, he reached level 5, and also gained his first active skill, Qinggong, and the Three Forces sword art. He was very happy, as finally he was able to face the Black faction members in a confrontation. Around the same time, children started playing games mimicking the nameless righteous swordsman, and the Red Wolf Gate was erased from this world too. The only unorthodox faction still standing in Bongyang was the Black Society. The Black Society leader sits in his estate, having heard all of the commotion, but he refuses to get up. Bongsu appears in front of him just as thunder strikes, and he asks if he's the nameless swordsman who slaughtered his men. Bongsu says nothing, and Yom notes that for a swordsman of justice, he is wrapped pretty tightly, isn't he? Bongsu tells him he isn't one, making Yom wonder, why did he hunt and kill the unorthodox factions then? However, seeing his expression, that of a true hunter, he laughs, as he really deceived all of them. Bongsu states that he deceived nobody. They simply believed what they wanted to. Yom slowly picks up his blade and notes that he is the most interesting man he has met. Even if he has to cross the river of death today, he will not leave with many regrets. What is he waiting for then? Righteous swordsman or not, he has still come here to kill him all the same. Yom's wise and cultivated blue aura and Bongsu's wild and murderous aura clash, and as a drop of rain falls between them, they both charge in, clashing their blades with much fervor. Bongsu tries to push through, but Yom's wise technique allows him to give him a shallow cut, before Bongsu takes control again and puts his blade to the ground. However, Yom sees this as an opening. He swings widely. Bongsu thinks that the blade is too short and won't reach, but he is actually struck, forcing him to twist his body around and fall back, so that his arm doesn't get completely cut off. Even so, his wound bleeds a lot more than any normal wound would, and as Yom previously thought, his body is not in perfect condition. He rushes in again, clashing his blade in Bongsu's with increased confidence, who notices that he's only targeting his injuries. At this rate, he will definitely lose. So even if he has to sacrifice his flesh, he has to win. Yom sees him thinking, and asks what is riddling his mind in the midst of this fight, and Bongsu rushes in with the Three Forces sword art. But this is exactly what Yom was waiting for all this time. He suddenly reveals a whip sword that completely encircles Bongsu's hand, and before he can react, cuts it off. That seems to have been quite effective. Indeed, it's his first time facing a whip, isn't it? Bongsu, however, doesn't give up. He kicks Yom in the gut using Qinggong, making the old man crash into his home. Unfortunately, this isn't over, as right in front of Bongsu's eyes, thousands of snakes appear in the air, combining into something of incredible proportions, a serpent made entirely of qi. Yom cannot lie. He finds it peculiar, as he does not hesitate to use his own body as bait. That is not the way of a martial artist. Not at all. It is the way of an assassin, or a hunter. Does he know, in a life or death situation with a martial artist, that the more one has hidden, the more advantageous one is? He had more hidden, and he has way less. That is why he will now lose. Bongsu readies his blade, but Yom knows he has no other moves left, and begins swinging his whip around, making it crash into the air like the thunder from before. Bongsu doesn't react, instead choosing to remain as steady as he can be, and Yom tells him that he can die, and with him, the legend of the nameless hero. Before the snake can crash down on him, Bongsu rushes in with a blinding kick, creating a mountain of dust to block Yom's vision, but he thinks it's futile. As he swings his mighty whip around and manages to hit something, thinking he got his enemy, he laughs, but he soon realizes that he actually hit one of his own members, who was a decoy. But where is the real one? Bongsu is higher in the air, and he prepares to unleash the Three Forces sword at the second form. Yom notices far too late, and Bongsu thrusts forwards with amazing speed, but even so, Yom manages to block some of the strike by sacrificing his right hand. As he screams, Bongsu is surprised that he managed to block the blade in just a split second. He knew he was going for his heart. Yom screams out, as this is not over yet, and rushes his whip right in front of him, forcing Bongsu to pull his blade out. Yom, however, does not let him. He grabs his blade as tightly as he can. Bongsu, however, uses his inventory and unleashes a torrent of bodies around Yom's blade, blocking its impending approach. As he falls on his knees, Yom thinks that he did not expect to see such a thing. Does this mean that he's not out of things to show him yet? Unfortunately, Bongsu is nowhere to be seen, only the corpses of those he used to lead. He swings his whip around in frustration, creating a tornado of blades as he screams out that he is a true lunatic for using corpses in a fight. Suddenly, an arrow flies towards him, and Yom barely has time to dodge it, but he continues screaming out, telling him to stop with the dirty tricks and face him. Suddenly, another arrow appears from behind, which manages to cut his skin. He begins to finally understand the situation he is in. He is just the prey here. He, the great Bang Yom, seeing something suddenly move in the dead of night, He swings wildly, managing to hit the shadow, but he realizes immediately that this was just another corpse. He lets out one final scream of frustration as Bongsu's blade rips his heart in half, his comrade screaming his name from hell. After Bongsu pulls his blade out, Yom notes that he finally achieved his objective. He finally killed every Black Society member in Bongyang. But just why? Bongsu asks if he needs a reason for such a simple thing. Humans have always slaughtered other humans, from when they looked like apes, all the way to this very day. Does this not apply here? The strong will always trample and steal from the weak. This time, he was simply the stronger one. After Yom's demise, the entire valley lights up as Bongsu levels up once again. He cleans his blade and thinks that with the death of every Black Society member in Bongyang, the preparations are finally complete. He will now move to the next stage, where the strong are stronger and the prey more cunning. It's time to go to the Murim's Jianghu. As lightning continues to strike the damp ground, inside a grand and ominous hall, people with covered faces stand in line, all in service of one man. His voice is raspy. He asks how long it is until the Orthodox demonic wars, and one of them answers, noting that only 2 years remain. Knowing this, the leader thinks it's about time to slowly begin the grand plan, so he calls out Guangwun and commands him to execute the first stratagem. The next day, as the sun shines brightly on the streets, Bongsu continues acting the fool, walking his horse, but he overhears 3 friends talking about the nameless swordsman, how he finally wiped out the Black Society, causing the merchants and courtesans to be in an uproar. They never thought he would actually clear them out. The first friend thinks that they should call him the nameless righteous swordsman now, since he did so much, but the third friend is not so sure about this. Even if he is a hero, is it really okay to just kill people like that? The first friend tells him to shut it and think about what those bastards have done up until now. Chewing them up alive wouldn't be punishment enough. They truly deserve to die. The second friend explains that neither the government nor those so-called orthodox faction sects ever cared about commoners like them. In the end, the nameless swordsman was the only one to step up. The third friend finally relents. It's true, if not for him, who would stand up for them? The first friend runs out, calling out the nameless swordsman, wishing him a prosperous life for driving out the black faction. Seeing this, the 2 other friends begin to cheer with him throughout the street. And soon, everyone begins to do the exact same thing, joining in a celebratory dance. Bongsu feels nothing at this, and thinks it's finally time to leave this place. That night, as he returns to the stables, the system warns him about a high-level enemy inside. He slowly opens the stable door, seeing Daehyo, and next to him, the head of the Danri clan, the flying heavenly demon sword, Danri Qianwu. He immediately bows down, wondering why they are here, and Qianwu walks up to his horse, noting that it's about time to say goodbye to him. Bongsu watches suddenly, seeing that he's actually levitating. He notes that on the coming full moon, the second daughter of the Namgung clan head is getting married. Daehyo asks if he's sure about sending his cherished horse as a gift, but Qianwu states it's already decided. If only he could send one of his children too, he would do even more than this. Daehyo asks if it's for a marriage pledge, the 9 bows ceremony. Qianwu thought he was pretty clear. Is it not easier to cross a stream by laying down 2 logs instead of 1? Daehyo notes that the Namgung clan might not want either of them, making Qianwu realize that this is why he called him here. He doesn't care which methods he uses, but he will make it happen no matter what. After finishing his intimidation, Qianwu tells him to depart immediately tomorrow, as he has much to do. He will also take this bowing one too. He is needed to handle the horse. After the clan leader leaves, Daehyo watches as Sosam gets up and dusts his clothes, a part of him still suspicious. The next day, as Bongsu prepares for departure, he wonders what he must do to learn proper martial arts. He tried to recreate martial arts based on the movements of the family warriors and leaders, but it was nothing more than an imitation. The worst option is to learn from a secret manual, and the best option is to learn directly from a master. However, becoming the disciple of someone right away is not an easy task. He has already reached the age of 18 in this world, and he heard that it's not easy to learn martial arts at this age. However, the situation worked out well, as he now has access to the Namgung clan. As one of the 5 great clans of the Central Plains and a family with absolute power in Anhui, there will surely be a way here, along with much stronger prayer. After the entire Black Crow unit has finished assembling, Danyo is informed, and seeing Sosam there too, he asks who has not arrived yet. One of the soldiers explains that all are gathered except the young master and the young lady. Daehyo grits his teeth in anger. Ganghai is probably at some tavern with some woman, and Hui hates traveling with subordinates, so he will follow later. With that, he gives out the signal to move out, but he suddenly detects something nearby and tells everyone to stop. After a torrent of dust pops out of a tavern, Daehyo sighs heavily. as this surely is Ganghai. He is the eldest son of Qianwu, a martial arts prodigy with outstanding comprehension and talent. In terms of skill, he lacks nothing to enter the Namgung clan as an outer disciple, but unfortunately, his character is the problem. He is a frivolous fool who is fond of alcohol and women, so bad rumors will always follow him. As he goes toward that tavern, thinking that he's surely beating someone, a surrounding green energy crashes through, along with Ganghai, who is completely defeated. Bongsu's system warns him of a powerful enemy, and Ganghai tries to threaten his enemy, but he doesn't care, and strikes again. This shocks everyone, except Bongsu, who knows that this is a master, and it's one of overwhelming skill. As the master presses his heavy foot on the air, Daihyo demands he halt this instant. The master asks who he is and unleashes his aura, forcing everyone to stop in their place. Daihyo introduces himself sheepishly, and explains that the person he is currently tormenting is the young master of the Danri clan. If he does not remove his foot, he will not be able to stand idle anymore. Seeing this, Bongsu thinks they don't know who he is at all, an unknown man even to the Black Crow unit leader, who knows everything about the Anhui Murim. He is definitely a master who came from the outside. With the people they have here, they would never be able to defeat him. At least they will not die, as no lion pounces with full force just to kill a bug. The master cleans his ear and asks what the Danri clan is. Perhaps something sweet to eat. Daihyo will not take this insult to their clan, but the master truly does not know. Is this Danri clan of theirs something sweet, or perhaps something he should trample on? Daihyo has had enough. He raises his blade forward and commands his men to charge in to save their young master. The foolish men do just that, but the master does not move. He instead unleashes a flick so mighty that it crashes through everyone's mind. And as soon as he is hit, Daihyo realizes this is the soul chasing the lying butterfly. Daihyo now knows who he is, and the master is impressed that his eyes are not completely useless. The old man standing before him is none other than the soul-chasing poison hand, Tang Wu. The 20 strongest people in Murim are the 2 gods, the 3 monsters, the 5 pinnacles, and the 10 greats. The supreme master of the Sichuan Tang clan, and one of the 10 greats, is the soul-chasing poison hand, Tang Wu. For those who have offended him, when they become spirits, they cannot escape his poison, even after death. He is one of the top 20 masters of the Murim. That scoundrel of the Danri clan has caused a big incident. If he has offended someone of Tang Wu's stature, depending on the circumstances, this might be the Danri clan's end. As he wonders how this will end, a jade beauty comes out of the tavern, calling Wu grandpa, tells him to let it go. They are country folk who do not know better after all. Hearing this, Wu's expression immediately changes, and he notes that this should be enough for him to realize how vast the world is. But to think, a descendant of the Orthodox faction, drinking and causing a scene first thing in the morning. With his temper, he would want to take at least a hand, but he cannot bring himself to be so cruel. When he wakes up, they should tell him that if he keeps hitting on random women, he won't live out his natural lifespan. Daihyo, who is still awake, nods and thanks him for his mercy. With that, Wu takes out all of his poison and thinks that they should go, but suddenly, his eyes lock in on Bongsu, whose eyes are completely void of any emotion. He tells Hua to stay here a moment, and Bongsu realizes that he's coming towards him too. But why? Hua asks what he's doing, but Wu just wants to ask something of this child. Bongsu wonders what it is, and Wu asks what his name is. After not answering, Wu demands to know what his name is again, proving that he is not fooling around. Bongsu still does not answer, and Daihyo explains that he is but a horse handler who cannot speak. Wu wonders if he really is mute, and Bongsu realizes that he is evaluating him now. It's as if he's looking at something precious. If a master like him is looking at him in such a way, then this is an opportunity to finally shed the skin of Sosam the sword handler. He looks at Wu with his entire murderous aura, who grabs his hand and charges chi through it. Laughing as he does, he swiftly turns to Daihyo and asks if they are on their way to the Namgung clan. Daihyo confirms as much, and Wu asks in return what this child does. Daihyo explains he is but a sword handler managing the Fergana horse they are giving as a gift. Wu thinks it would be fine to take him then, but then Daihyo notes that nobody would be able to control that horse. Wu thinks that they just need to transport the horse to the Namgung clan. After that, he will take the child. He will speak with Namgung himself. If necessary, he will write a letter to the clan head, along with payment. Is that not sufficient? Daihyo tries to reason with him, but seeing his eyes locked on his expression, notes that they were intending to give him to the Namgung clan along with the horse, so he should take him. Wu laughs as he notes that he's pleased, and tells them to follow. Daihyo almost squishes his brain out in frustration, and tells the men to send the young master to a physician, while the rest of them will move out. Between all of them, this has truly turned into a strange situation. but one filled with opportunity. Night eventually arrives, and Daihyo finds a huge tavern for all of his men to stay at. Bongsu is naturally sent to the stables, but this is preferable. Ever since his battle with the Black Society, his use of the inventory has improved significantly. Currently, the range in which he can summon it is about a meter around him. If he practices, perhaps he could increase it further. Through this, he can retrieve weapons or corpses from his stored inventory, or fire them. However, the shooting speed is not that fast. A master would definitely be able to react. He picks up a pile of sand and puts it in his inventory before it goes on the ground, allowing him to manipulate it completely. He has gotten quite skilled at this, and there is one more way to utilize it. He swallows a handful of sand and transports it outside using inventory. When it comes to himself, anything that enters his body can be transferred to the inventory. It is a divine art, the inventory of divine art. Eventually, someone comes into the stables. It's Hua, who wonders why her grandpa wants her to bring someone like him over at this hour, but he should follow. Bongsu does just that, everyone watching silently as he goes to Wu's room. After entering, Wu tells him to go up to the platform and sit cross-legged. Bongsu does just that, and Wu tells him to strip absolutely everything. Bongsu does so without hesitation, and Wu thinks it's good. His body structure is not bad. He takes out something from his clothes, the Dragon Phoenix golden needles. Hua asks what he is trying to do, but he simply slams the box down and asks Bongsu if he knows the saying, Jiulhua Weiji. It means that an orange grown in Huainan turns into a trifoliate orange when planted in the north. Bongsu understands, if Huainan is the Danri clan, then Huaibei is the Tang clan, and if the orange is Sosam, then the triofoliate orange. Wu explains that from this moment forth, he will perform a great ritual on him. It will be extremely painful, probably enough to make him think that death is a better alternative, but if he survives, it will give him something beyond that, and also cure his muteness. Will he do it? Bongsu is amazed, but Hua stops him, as he can't just decide on such a grave matter without consulting the elders. Wu tells her something, his smile becoming wider and wider as he explains, and Bongsu seems to get it too. After talking Hua down, Wu asks if he is ready to receive the surname of the Tang clan. Bongsu's mind becomes more warped than before. What he's been vying for, the power to hunt even larger beasts, is held in this tiny golden box. Wu thinks that in the Murim, there are many terms for those born with exceptional aptitude for martial arts. Things like the heavenly meridian body, the 9th grade sacred bone, and the cosmic sacred bone. They are all hailed as rare talents, and said to appear only once in 1,000 or even 10,000 years. Rare talents, if one is simply born with them, are enough to leave a mark on the entire history of the Murim. However, the greatest aptitude among them is something he picked up for free, a talent that only appears once in 10 years, perhaps 10,000 years, but it doesn't even matter now. The brat he just grabbed possesses a body born for the first time in the history of the Murim, a body with absolutely no meridians. At first glance, he thought he was just an ordinary body that had never learned martial arts. However, his body actually lacked the acupoints and pathways that every human should have. There is nothing there. Nothing exists, as if he's not even human. However, having no path means whatever is made becomes the path. If he is raised properly, he might be able to restore the 10,000 flower rain, which has only survived in form for the last few hundred years. If that were to happen, the powers of the Murim will bow their heads before the name of the great Tang family, and their future will be secured for generations to come. Wu asks Bongsu again, does he intend to accept the surname of the Tang family? Bongsu just nods, and Wu is very pleased. He knows that he has not yet fully become a member of the Tang family, so he must go to the Tang family and prove before the elders and the family head that he is worthy of that surname. He may die in the process. He won't lie to him, but will he still do it? Seeing that deadly stalker look in his eyes, Wu knows he agrees. Now he will perform the great reformation ritual on him. He tells Hua to keep guard and goes behind Bongsu, raising all of the acupuncture needles in the air using his energy right below Bongsu. With that, he begins putting the first needle right in the middle of his head. Bongsu is amused. Previously, they thought that he could not hear them because they used sound transmission, but he knows how to read lips. To think the skill he learned to hunt prey in the past would have been so useful here. He heard about the body of no meridians, but how could he have something like that? The status window in the system, visible only to him surely. Because of that, he ended up with a strange body that is neither human nor character. If that's the case, he just needs to act the part. For now. Eventually, Wu feels all of his acupuncture points, making him look like a porcupine. He thinks that this is a body that will never be seen again in this world. Even though these are temporarily created acupoints, There is no blockage in the flow of qi and blood. In fact, his ki flows several times faster than that of ordinary martial artists. This is truly a great talent for the ages. However, he will need a contingency. He suddenly pulls out a box, and from within, a goo made from thousands of other goos. He picks it up gently on a stick and thinks that he cannot let others steal this precious body. He will insert this goo to prepare for any contingencies. This little worm has one job. If he cannot possess Bongsu, then he will tear him into shreds so that nobody else can either. With that, he begins removing the acupuncture needles from Bongsu until daylight rises. After the ritual is over, Wu explains that from now on, he is not of the Danri family, but a member of the Tang clan, the greatest family in Sichuan. His name will no longer be that of a horse handler. He is now Tang Sam. He shall name him as such. Bongsu acts normally, bowing his head, but as he says yes, a wicked grin permeates his mouth. Hua, who has fallen asleep at the door, doesn't even notice as Sam walks out. He makes a bit of distance from the room he was in, and then, using his inventory, gets the insect planted into him, right into his palm, and crushes it, leaving him with a wicked grin. The mute Sosam of the Danri family is now gone. Sam of the Sichuan family now lives with this. He will ascend to even higher planes. On a night with a full moon, a certain branch leader is having some fun with a woman, seemingly ignorant to the fact that there is an assassin right on top of them waiting to strike. The woman notices, however, and tells him as such, so the man gets out of the way before he can get attacked, leaving the woman to die. He can't believe this. This cannot be. Blood got on his silk robes from the west. This is the worst day ever. Does he have any idea how expensive these are? He is mad now and demands to know who the assassin is, but he says nothing. After all, he is no longer a man, just a weapon to be used. The assassin then uses a technique and crashes it over the branch leader. Suddenly, the branch leader pulls out one of his blades and crashes it into the assassin's attack. This makes his eyes widen, however, as unfortunately, he is weak as hell. He pushes the assassin away before spinning into him and slashing again and again. The assassin does manage to get out of the way of the blast, but the branch leader then unleashes 1,000 attacks at once, all flying through the air. The assassin, however, just concentrates his chi into his blade, and then begins whipping the flying attacks away from him, creating a permanent shield. The branch leader recognizes this technique as the ink light killing sword. He asks Mad Cloud if it's really been 10 years. The assassin, Mad Cloud, explains that it's been 9 years and 191 days actually. The branch leader laughs and sits down, noting that he definitely is Mad Cloud, seeing as he remembers such trivial things. What brings the 18th Cloud all the way here in person? Mad Cloud tells Ash Shadow that orders have come from higher up. The first stratagem has been crafted and is ready to be deployed. Hearing this, Ash basically quivers in anticipation and is very glad they are finally doing it. What about Shifting Shadow though? Mad Cloud explains that the 15th of this month is Shifting Shadow's wedding day, so they will do it in the Namgung clan. Ash is confused, waiting, but wait, is that a bastard really there? Getting married? And then what's the scope of this? Mad Cloud just nods knowingly, and as Ash taps his fingers again and again, he explains that everyone except Shifting Shadow and High. Ash continues tapping his finger on his armchair, and explains that the soul-chasing poison hand will arrive in Anhui soon. Their forces will not be enough. Mad Cloud says that the 5 shadows will go. If that is the case, well, it should be enough, right? Mad Cloud turns to leave, having delivered his orders, but Ash stops him as he asks what Shifting Shadow's name was again. Mad Cloud just glares at him before disappearing entirely, making Ash think that he is as unlikable as ever. He really is jealous though. He thought shadows would live alone forever, but Shifting Shadow became a hero of the Orthodox faction, and even got the first beauty of Anhui as a bride, while he is rotting away in this damn gloomy place. He gets out into the hall, and with a snap of his fingers, summons one of his aides. He tells him to clean the room, and get rid of the filth on the bed too. Additionally, he will kill all the guards who are on duty today. The man simply accepts, and disappears once again. The branch leader looks on at his pavilion, which is the heavenly demon divine. He is the branch leader, the naked silver demon Paga Hyul. His expression is bored, like he is waiting for something, but suddenly he smiles, as now it really will begin, and there will be tons of fun to be had. Eventually, Wu's group and everyone else arrive at Anhui, with Wu surprised that they have arrived sooner than expected. Bongsu is glad that he is finally at the place where the Namgung clan reigns as masters, Anhui, much larger than he expected. Naturally, festivities are happening all around Anhui, and some beggars are at the doorstep of a pavilion begging for at least a lump of rice to share. The guard immediately tells them off, saying, Do they have any idea what they're asking for? They should get lost before he has to deal with them. The beggars keep begging, noting that even just leftovers are good, but the guard just kicks them away. Suddenly, the young master arrives and asks what this commotion is. The guard tells him it's nothing to be worried about. Some beggars are at their doorstep, making the festivity look bad. After seeing him, the people around begin to talk. That is the star of this banquet, Duheo. He is very tall and handsome, just like the rumors, and besides that, he gives the beggars a hand, surprising even them. He tells the guard to share some food with these people as well. There is still some time left before the wedding, so there must be leftover food, and quite a large number at that. With that, he leaves, and the people keep talking. He is a rising star. That is a different breed indeed, to have such character along with his martial arts. He can see why the Namgung clan's daughter fell for him. The other man agrees to travel the Jianghu alone, and eventually defeat the yin-yang twin demons. That is a big feat. Who would have known that a young wanderer would defeat two demons who rampaged throughout the Jianghu for decades and become the son-in-law of the Namgung clan? The first one to speak notes that there are rumors that the martial arts of the Thunderblade Emperor, the greatest under the heavens, 300 years ago, is what he used to defeat a demon. Suddenly, someone bumps into him, and the man certainly tells him to watch where he is going, but it is someone they immediately recognize as the soul-chasing Poison Hand, who simply pushes them aside, not caring to punish him now, and calling them all useless as he walks with his people. Immediately upon walking into the pavilion, he demands silence, and asks if they are saying he has come to this place when he should not have. If they have anything to say, they should say it to his face instead of scattering in the corner, as he can hear them all. Heo pleads with him to calm down, and introduces himself. Wu analyzes him. So he is the young man who made him come all this way. Huh, he is excellent. Rather excellent, but that is all. It would have been best if they met a while ago, but seeing him today is quite disappointing. Heo doesn't really know what he means, and Wu just walks past him, asking if Byok is inside. Heo confirms that the clan head is waiting inside, but wait, he will guide him to the king's hall. As they both enter, Bongsu just stares at them, but not really at them, as the system has announced that an enemy with a level difference of more than 10 levels has approached within 20 meters. There is a subtle gap between this Heo person and Wu, not to mention he is moving at a constant, steady pace without even stopping. If so, it means that this new high-level enemy is actually this guy. He analyzes him closely, thinking that every human has left-to-right asymmetry, face, length of limbs, height of shoulders, things like that. However, that guy is perfect, far too perfect. He is of the same species as him. He is hiding his body in a form different from his own. He is another predator. They all make their way to the Namgung clan king's hall, and Wu sees the swords of the past clan heads. He sulks. They call themselves kings and whatnot, looking down at people. But when they die, they'll just all be sleeping in a grave anyway. Heo tells him that he doesn't need to go inside. He can just go in and call Byok. But Wu tells him to forget it and climbs up, as that bastard must have been waiting as he said. Upon opening the door, Byok immediately rushes to him and welcomes him inside, calling him uncle. It has been a truly long time since they last saw each other. This wretched sight of a clan head running around without dignity is making his stomach churn, but then he smiles, noting that it's good to see him after such a long time. Hua looks on at this interaction, wondering if her grandfather and the clan head were always this close. Suddenly someone else comes. It's Hai, who tells Hua that it's been a while. Hua greets her too and notes that she has become far prettier, which Hai thanks her for and asks if she's been well. Heo also clears his throat, noting that he was flustered earlier and could not introduce himself properly, so he does so now. Hua introduces herself and asks if she can call him her brother-in-law. Hai immediately becomes flustered, but Heo just laughs, finding it rather amusing. Hua pushes further, noting that she never knew a shy person like Hai would get married before she does. As Hai recovers from the teasing, she suddenly spots Bongsu's figure at the door and asks who that person is. Before Hua can introduce him, Bongsu introduces himself as Tang Sam. Immediately, Heo goes to him and offers him a handshake, noting that it's nice to meet him. Bongsu knows what this is. It's either a complete feint of action or a test to see if he is a predator like he is. Bongsu takes his hand with a smile and shakes it sternly. After that, Heo suggests that tonight, since he was planning to go on a night outing to the Soho Lake with Hai, how about they all go together? Of course, that includes Sam as well, if he would want to come, of course. Sure enough, they all go to the lake at night, and Hua finds it beautiful, as the flowers color the water beautifully. Heo agrees this lake is famous for its breathtaking views. After all, the night view is especially stunning out of all of them. Hai thinks it's beautiful too, and Heo notes that, while the ladies are talking among themselves, Why don't the men share a drink together? He'll fetch some good wine. With that, they go to a more secluded space. Bongsu thinks that, on the surface, Heo is the man who'll become the son-in-law of the Namgung clan, a good soul at heart. He's definitely a predator in disguise. A person of that caliber could surely plot something quite substantial. But when and why? He feels like he's unwillingly been caught in a massive unseen scheme. Suddenly, the system warns him that an enemy of over 10 levels is within 10 to 20 meters, but it's not Heo. The ship's length, after all, is 25 meters, and the height is around 5 meters. Then the enemy is right on the lower deck, as Heo comes with the wine, apologizing for taking so long since it was in a weird spot. Bongsu thinks that there's a new enemy aside from Heo, and they are in this very boat. Heo arrives with a drink next to him, noting that this is Gumaju. It's a bit strong, but it's a very precious wine. He is offering this especially to him. Before Bongsu can drink from it, though, he explains that his stomach has been feeling unwell for a while, so may he be excused for a moment. Heo agrees, laughing, and tells him to ask the boatman where he needs to go, but gives him one long side look before leaving. Bongsu goes into the boat and counts the steps he has to take for the new enemy to be right below him. The distance to the enemy has definitely increased, but it's actually closing in again. It's not just 1, 2, or even 3. It's actually 4, including Heo. That's 5. There are currently 5 enemies on this ship who are over 10 levels higher than him. He steps outside, looking on, and thinks that if their goal was something like kidnapping Hai, they would have definitely done so already. Since that cannot be the case, it's highly likely that their target is actually the Namgung clan itself. He also does not know how large the gap between him and these enemies is. For 4 such people to secretly infiltrate the Namgung clan, it means that they are probably already overthrowing it as they speak. He is basically caught in between a rock and a hard place. By his side is Tang Wu, and ahead of him are the enemies of the Namgung clan. A truly nice dilemma which he will take joy in unraveling. As the boats keep flowing to the water, a few guards made their patrols, but one soldier asks their squad leader if they really have to do this. Isn't going all the way to the waterway a bit much? The squad leader grabs his head and asks how he dares to talk back to him. Is it that hard to just follow the waterway, check it, and then come back? The guard knows that he just finds it pointless, but the squad leader tells him to stop thinking. The wedding is coming soon. It would not be strange to check 2 or 3 times over, so they should go before he smashes their head in. As these men go inside, the squad leader calls them a bunch of slackers and waits outside. A true man should be on the battlefield, swinging as he cuts down his enemies' heads, but he has been given this squad leader position, which is extremely boring. If only some enemies showed up, it would be a lot more entertaining. As the 2 guards go in, one of them notes that the other guys are all eating well and drinking, but they are forced to go through these gutters like rats. He turns to ask the youngest guard what he thinks, but that's when Bongsu appears behind him and blows out his candle. Using the darkness, Bongsu immediately cuts one of them, cuts the youngest up using a meticulous strike, before rushing in. The only thing that can be seen or heard is him dashing through the water before he kills the other guard too, making 3 victims in the span of a few seconds. After a while, the squad leader gets bored, thinking that these guys are taking too long. Perhaps they are slacking off again. He grabs a torch too and goes inside, thinking that he will beat the daylights out of them if they are slacking. As he walks to the waterway though, he spots a floating arm and immediately recoils. He screams out for the others, calling for them, and reluctantly makes his way further inside, where he is met with a horrifying sight. All 3 people that he sent in, the guards, were really young and had their whole lives ahead of them. They are now strung up like puppets and made into an example of horror. Bongsu wonders where that hand went, since he needed it for the aesthetic, but then he notices the team leader and realizes he was just missing an arm. He will not throw away this opportunity either. Surprisingly, the team leader immediately jumps at Bongsu, seemingly not afraid of what he did, only furious. He unleashes a barrage of strikes that Bongsu is forced to block, as this guy is much stronger than he ever anticipated. After another clash, they break apart, splashing at their feet. As the team leader recognizes him, he is the guy who showed up with a soul-chasing poison hand, isn't he? He came here as a guest, so why in the 7 hells is he doing something like this? Bongsu doesn't respond at first and then says, "It's for the sake of the Namgung clan, of course." The team leader doesn't believe a word of it. He tore away his warriors and skewered them like animals, and he calls that doing it for the Namgung clan. He shouldn't even think of dying a painless death. He will make sure he suffers. He begins using the Heavenly Wind Sword Arts, first form, and in turn, Bongsu activates the 3 Calamities Sword Arts, second form. With that, they charge at each other, creating a brilliant cascade of light that makes the water at their feet surge around from the sheer force. After this powerful double attack, they break apart again, and the team leader unleashes a bunch of ranged strikes, which flurry around Bongsu, hitting him not gravely, but enough to push him back and diminish his HP greatly. With this opportunity, the team leader charges in once again and manages to cut off a few of Bongsu's fingers. He laughs maniacally, wondering what he is going to do now without his blade. Suddenly, though, another blade appears out of thin air and begins cutting his head off before the team leader dodges the strike with a millisecond to spare. He stumbles back into the dark corridor, wondering what the hell just happened. He clearly saw him drop his blade, so when did he get another one? If he had been a millisecond slower, his face would have been torn off now. Just what kind of sorcery is this? Before he can think about it more, Bongsu charges in once again and unleashes a left horizontal slash. The team leader defends against it, but just as he's about to clash his blade against Bongsu's, it disappears, and Bongsu is allowed to move behind him. The team leader doesn't understand. Again, that sword vanished. Before he can turn around fully, Bongsu unleashes a heavy kick to his face, smashing him through the wall and jumping after him in the glistening night. The team leader thinks that he is dead, but just as the blade is about to take off his head once again, Bongsu falters and falls to the ground roughly. The team leader understands that he is limited, doesn't he? That slash from earlier actually worked, didn't it? He pushed him too far. He begins laughing hard, as he got scared for nothing after all. Bongsu gets up slowly, shakily. He has taken way too much damage, and his HP is extremely low. One more hit and he is gone. However, his XP bar is almost full. If that is the case, there is definitely a way for him to get out of this. He charges in at the team leader once again, who thinks that he must have a death wish or something, and unleashes the Heavenly Wind Sword Art's final form, the Heavenly Wind splitting the sky. He unleashes a bunch of calculated, methodical strikes that barrage Bongsu, noting that he must be trying to take him down with him, but he won't have a single chance. Indeed, Bongsu is going for the kill, but before he can, the strikes converge on him, taking off both his hands and a leg, allowing the team leader to move in and roughly smash his head into the ground with his foot. He twirls the blade in his hand, calling him an absolute buffoon. Did he truly think he could take on the great Gosangong? Since he wished for it so much, he will grant him the mercy of death. However, his eyes widen as he sees Bongsu smiling and a blue light coming out of his mouth, the same light that appeared when he summoned his blade. The team leader realizes that he screwed up, but it's too late. Bongsu summons the sword from his inventory, which heals itself inside the team leader's head, roughly killing him on the spot. With that, he actually levels up, and the system immediately gives him all of his HP back, regenerating his body whole, with an incredible light that permeates throughout the entire sect, even in the deepest parts of it. After that, Bongsu completes his masterpiece, a testament to his insanity and skill. At the same moment, in the Danri clan, chaos erupts as expert martial warriors systematically take it down. Danri Cheonwoo, the head of the Danri clan, who has fought bravely up until now, looks on at the chaos around him, at his clan falling into pieces. Suddenly, a larger, predator-looking man appears before him, not even getting into a defensive position. The clan head just asks who he is and why he is there, but before he can finish, his head is cut in half, killing him on the spot. Mad Cloud tells one of his subordinates to go ahead and contact Hyol and tell him that the Danri clan is annihilated. Hyol himself is done with a woman he found somewhere else. Judging by her clothes, she was probably from the Danri clan. Well, she left a bad taste in his mouth for nothing. He should have just killed her on the spot. A messenger appears before him, and he understands it's over already. That Mad Cloud sure knows how not to have fun. However, the Namgung clan is weird. That light is not something they anticipated. There is no way Byun-Yang would send a signal this loud and flashy. Could the Namgung clan have found out about their plans somehow? He tells the messenger to block all the roads leading to Anhui immediately, and then commence on the first stratagem. Eventually, the guards find Bongsu's art piece, which reads as follows: "When the moon is full, the emperor will fall, and he who walks slowly shall become king." Bayok is there too, and he looks at it sternly. He does not know who would do such a thing, but one thing is certain: someone is targeting the Namgung clan. The wedding is fast approaching. They will increase the number of guards and make them take double patrols. If they spot anyone suspicious, they will report it to him immediately. As he walks away, he begins to decipher the contents of this cryptic message. Emperor refers to their clan, and when the moon is full, likely refers to the wedding taking place on the night of that full moon. But who exactly is he who walks slowly? His face becomes full of indignation and a keen sense of fear as he wonders what on earth is happening to their clan. The next morning, This is a very volatile topic among the clan elders. One of them screams as he smashes his fist into the table, noting that he's been saying this all along, but this is clearly a setup. This is Namgung Jun, leader of the Azure Sky Sword Unit. It has not even been a year since Heo joined this clan. How can they suspect the man who is to become their son-in-law based on some bizarre and macabre writing? The entire Murim will laugh at this clan if they continue to think like that. After a bit of silence, Namgung Yin, leader of the Boundless Sword Unit, tells him that his opinion differs from that of the leader of the Azure Sky Sword Unit. They must focus on the 8 characters left by the intruder. Anyone can see that the characters for walking slowly point to the name Heo. It is clear even to a child. Jung demands to know what he just said, but Yin continues. The intruder secretly infiltrated the great Namgung clan and killed their warriors in plain sight, leaving behind a message with an undeniable meaning. This means the intruder's goal wasn't just to infiltrate the clan, nor to kill someone or spy on them. Did they not all see that flash of light last night? That almost encompassed the entire clan. They sent a blindingly strong signal, as if to show off, and then vanished like a ghost. Jung doesn't understand him, so he is saying they should arrest Heo over a frame-up by an intruder that is not even confirmed yet. That would smear the prestige of their clan for good. What if this is a setup? Huh? What then? How is he supposed to show his face in public after something like this? Bayok tells them that's enough. Both of them are right. The leader of the Azure Sky Sword Unit said the intruder is suspicious, and the leader of the Boundless Sword Unit said they cannot simply ignore even the least possibility of something like this happening. Is that not why the Heavenly Standard Unit leader and the Heavenly Wind leader are out investigating right now? Jung calms his rage and confirms that the Heavenly Thunder Unit has already gone scouting towards Hefei. If some person or faction is plotting against their clan on the night of the full moon, there should be at least some movement by now. As they wait in silence, not really needing to say more, suddenly someone barges in, noting that he has an urgent report. This is Namgung Hu, the Heavenly Thunder Unit leader. They all get up, wondering what happened, and he immediately moves towards Bayok, bowing down and exclaiming that out of the Heavenly Standard Unit members who went scouting, none of them have returned to the clan. Jung screams out, "How did not a single one return?" Hu explains that they were supposed to return within 2 hours, but not a single one has come back yet. Bayok puts a stern yet comforting hand on his shoulder as he asks what he thinks happened, and he looks completely defeated and lowers his gaze in shame, exclaiming that the Namgung clan seems to be entirely surrounded by enemies. This revelation hits them all like a truck, and Jung stomps over asking, "What? And by whom?" However, Bayok was foreseeing this. The 18 water channels of the Yangtze River are probably being used, but now they have a treaty with them, and they are a naval force that cannot move inland. Then Hu's report says the inland direction toward Hefei is surrounded. Jung screams, demanding to know what faction in Anhui has the power to surround their entire clan. Does an organization with that kind of power even exist in the first place? It makes no sense. Yin, however, his face filled with despair, says no, there is one place, just one, in all of the Murim that has the power to surround their clan, the Heavenly Demon Castle. Somewhere nearby, Bongsu recites the message he sent. When the moon is full, the emperor will fall, and he who walks slowly shall become king. He repeats it again, with a hint of genuine amusement on his features. The next morning, Bongsu meditates, concentrating his pathways and reliving the fight from yesterday. He can see it perfectly and clearly, allowing him to dodge the strike that made him lose so much HP in the first place. Even this was close. If the team leader had executed the Heavenly Windsword forms at that exact moment, he would have been completely defeated, with no way of getting out of it. Martial arts are far more powerful than any ability in the game, it seems. If he wishes to grow stronger than this, then he must master them so that he could be the one to unleash them towards the enemy, and he would be the one who always comes out on top. After a bunch of meditation, he eventually wins, thinking that the effect of the great revelation method of Tang O Sun is incredible. He is gaining much insight just by replaying it better in his head. Even if these meridians are temporary, his experience is now engraved into his body. With enough training, he should be able to wield martial arts soon enough. The system congratulates him, as he has reached level 13, and must now complete his first-class advancement mission. His first advancement mission is called Exclusive Tester Warrior. The completion requirement is to eliminate 1,000 enemies of level 10 or higher. Bongsu looks at these requirements, taking them all in, and thinks that this is around the level of the enemies he fought yesterday. The last ones were probably around level 5 or 6. He thought he'd gotten stronger a lot, but it seems that he is just beginning. Suddenly though, from behind him, the King's Hall just blows up out of nowhere, and chaos begins to arise throughout the clan. 10 minutes earlier, Heo looked on at the massacre Bongsu left behind with a clinical eye. He walks around, thinking that everything has become complicated after that flare went up last night. Security tightened a lot, and the number of guards increased as a result. He must inform the shadows at once. However, the leader of the Boundless Sword Squad immediately stopped him, asking where he was rushing off to. Heo is surprised to see him out at such an hour, but just bows down and knows that he heard there was a strange light nearby earlier, so he came to check it out. Yin, not being able to hide his indignation, asks what he found. Was it truly an intruder signal? Heo can see that the martial warriors behind him are already with their hands on their blades, ready to strike. He takes his silence as an answer too. He has nothing to say because he found nothing. He will come with them to the Imperial King's Hall, and they will not take no for an answer. With that, the Boundless Sword Squad leader walks away, forcing Heo to follow. However, he refused. He just sighed, noting that he quite liked this vessel. That's when the Imperial King Hall blew up, shocking everyone. With this distraction, he will charge, activating the Lightning Emperor sword technique on Yin, a tremendous thunderstrike that sends him crashing into the ground and draws people from all around to see what's happening. They can see their new young master in front of the Boundless Sword Squad leader, who is still alive but extremely shaken, even with a surprise attack. He took down someone like him in a single strike. This is not Heo. This is not a normal martial artist. Who is this man standing before him? Seeing Heo approach Yin with such unrestrained intent, a servant rushes in, asking Heo what he is doing. Before he can even touch his shoulder to look at him, Heo just cuts him apart right in front of everyone, causing a stampede as everyone runs away, thinking that he has gone mad. Yin wonders who in the hell is this guy. The man wearing Heo's body refuses to tell him, as he will die anyway. There is no need for dead men to tell tales. He rushes in with an incredible strike that is faster than even lightning, but before it can eradicate Yin, Wu appears, sitting on his arm, already penetrating one of his acupuncture points, demanding to know what he thinks he is doing. Heo tries to strike back with sheer power, but Wu meets it in kind. Bongsu watches from a slight distance. He has seen this exchange since the beginning, and as expected, Wu intervened. He begins pushing the needle further into his hand, making Heo recoil with power, as the poison slowly begins to seep inside of him, and forcing Heo to unleash all his martial prowess to defend against it. Wu takes out his needle from his hand, and Yin thanks him for saving his life. Wu just notes that the Murim really has grown into a cold place. To think that a son-in-law would strike his in-laws in the back like this. Heo just laughs, taking off the upper part of his clothes, and asks if not everyone is a scoundrel like that. As another explosion occurs behind him, Wu explains that he has never been one to use many words before acting, but he'd better confess his true identity and what is going on while he's still being civil, because he can be much less civil. Heo sees what he's doing. This is the secret butterfly internal art he has heard so much about, huh? He'd like to fight him right now. However, he might not have the time. Bongsu can see it too. This guy is planning to run. It is strange enough that he is alone, but it seems like he's been looking for something this whole time too. Suddenly, Hua appears next to Bongsu, wondering why her grandfather is there, making Bongsu's eyes widen. If she is here, it means that Heo must have been looking for her, right? Sure enough, Heo smashes his feet into the ground, noting that he found her, and Wu blocks against his aura, asking if he is that determined to see death. Heo completely ignores him and begins throwing his blade at the same time. Bongsu rushes towards Hua, and Wu unleashes the full brunt of his might, sending the needles flying towards Heo. Wu did not expect him to throw his sword mid-battle, but then he sees who it was thrown at, his own granddaughter. He screams out for her, telling her to get out of the way, but before she can even think of doing so, Bongsu rushes in, shielding her from the strike, which hits like a nuke, creating a gigantic crater where it hit. Wu rushes in, extremely worried, but his eyes widen as he sees Bongsu carrying Hua. It seems that he saved her. Bongsu gently hands her over, and Wu's hardened expression falters into that of a caring grandfather, thanking him for what he did. Above, Heo just laughs, as this is a rather lovely reunion. He should have brought something to drink while watching such a drama. Bongsu recognizes that he is strong enough to compete even with Wu. This guy is a true master. Heo notes that he would love to stay around here and chat, but they will meet again very soon, so he should wait for him then. Just as he is about to leave, a wave of recognition passes over him, and he looks at Bongsu, who can barely hide the glee on his face. Now Heo understands. He was the one, wasn't he? The person behind the pillar of light, and the one foiling his plans. He mimics his manic grin as he realizes that it was all his doing. He notes that they should meet again soon, and runs off. Wu would like to chase after him and end his life, but Hua takes precedence, so he stops himself and curses, as they've been completely and utterly had. That evening, Biok sits in the king's hall, noting that only 4 people reduced them to this. A wave of regret washes over him as he realizes that all of Heo's actions, and even his marriage to Hai, were all planned from the start. All the messenger pigeons they sent to the Murim alliance were killed by falcons too, and now that their clan's defensive 3 emperors 9 kings formation is destroyed, they are like rats in a barrel. Yin arrives and notes that he would like to speak. Currently they have 3 options: run, fight, or send a messenger. Biok tells him to skip to the third, as he knows just as well as he does that the first 2 are an impossibility. Yin agrees, and explains that sending a messenger means having someone report their current situation to the Murim alliance, and waiting for reinforcements. Considering the distance from here to there, it would take less than a week if they traveled at full speed. Biok has thought of that, but who could break through their siege and make it all the way to the alliance? Yin says there is one person, an absolute master with movement arts, capable of breaking through a siege. Biok knows he means Wu, but even for someone like him, breaking through the siege of so many alone would be too much, would it not? Yin swallows his sorrow at what he's about to say, and notes that they will use them, the only ones currently in the clan who are desperate to escape, the hundreds of wedding guests. With this in mind, Biok invites Wu to speak that night, but Biok is concerned about the child next to him. Wu explains that he has been granted the Tang family name. He is trustworthy, so he should pay him no mind and speak. Biok understands and clasps his hands together in a pleading manner, telling him to please escape to Soho Lake with the wedding guests, and request reinforcements. Wu scoffs. As if they do that, most of them will die. The enemy's martial prowess is... He stops himself. Sure, he knows better than he does. Biok confirms as such. If they take a boat from Soho Lake to the Yangtze River, they will be able to receive help from the 18 waterway strongholds of the Yangtze River. He has already launched all the ships and gathered the clan's guests and servants at the South Water Gate. Wu asks when they should depart, and Biok notes that it should be immediately, today. Seeing the grim determination on his face, Wu leaves, noting that he will prepare, but Biok tells him that when he leaves, he should take Hai along with him as well. He does not want her to see him fight that man. Wu stops and asks if that truly is all. Hearing this, Biok's face falters completely, and notes that in this case, the Namgung clan is finished, because he's afraid they won't last even 10 days. Wu screams, calling him a crazy bastard. Does he think he would let that happen? Not while he, Tang Wu, the soul-chasing poison hand, is here. He should endure, as if their lives depend on it, for he shall return with reinforcements, 1,000 men of martial prowess. Bongsu recalls Biok's defeated expression. It seems it was a good thing he saved Hua, to think he would hear the Namgung clan's plan firsthand. But this is a plan with many uncertainties behind it. Suddenly his meditation is interrupted by Hua, who wonders what her great-grandpa is even thinking. She quickly composes herself as she sees Bongsu and stands next to him, not really knowing what to say. This guy is pretty awkward, but she should say something. She sheepishly thanks him for saving her, and tells him not to get the wrong idea. Bongsu, however, drowns this all out and looks at her with an expression of pure contempt, as he does not care for her thanks. As Heol watches from a distance, Heo comes along carrying a corpse, and Heol notes that he didn't expect to see him here so early. Should he call him Heo now, or Shifting Shadow? Shall he hear his excuse too? Shifting Shadow notes that he is speaking as if he has failed. Heol asks if he is saying that he did not. 4 shadows died without achieving a thing, and above all the fact that he is here right now means the first stratagem has failed. Shifting Shadow scoffs, saying he is wrong. The core of the first stratagem is for him to become a hero of the Orthodox faction, but just because he is standing here does not mean he cannot become a hero. Suddenly, his body shifts uncontrollably, changing his entire physique into that of a woman. He asks if this is enough. In this form, he doesn't even need someone like Hai. He naturally becomes the successor of Namgung. Heol is impressed. He laughs, calling him a crazy bastard. That's good. That's very good. This changes everything though. She is called the first beauty of Anhui for a reason. Truly beautiful to think he would get aroused despite knowing that he is a man. Shifting Shadow just looks at him for a solid minute, and asks if he lost his damn mind. He, however, doesn't care if it's a man or a woman. If there's a hole, there's a goal. They begin clashing, their auras thrusting against each other. Shifting Shadow does not want to be diddled by this man, but suddenly, Falcon arrives with a message, and they stop. Shifting Shadow asks if it's from Water Shadow. He reads it, noting that it's just one character drifting, as he thought the ships had set sail. It's a shame, but he should get moving. What about him? Shifting Shadow notes that he is going to follow that hawk, and Hyul guesses he wants to go to Water Shadow. But why? He thinks it would be more fun to go to the Namgung clan. Shifting Shadow refuses, saying there is something more interesting over here. Hyul guesses he means Tang Wu, but even if he is one of the 10 greats, can he alone compare to the weight of the Namgung clan? He realizes it is about that light, isn't it? Did he find out who it is? He should tell him now. Shifting Shadow refuses and runs off, leaving him alone with his thoughts. Sure enough, a few short hours later, the wedding guests and Wu depart from the riverbed. They are naturally seen by a scout, who goes back to his supreme stronghold chief and confirms they have departed. She tells him to launch the ships, as they will give chase on the boats. This is the supreme stronghold chief of the 18 waterway strongholds of the Yangtze River, Water Shadow. Bongsu watches the situation intently, especially Hua and Hye. He thinks that no matter how much of a peerless expert Wu is right now, those two are just dead to him. If they were to face a moment of life and death, out of Hua and Hye and Tong Sam, the person he is now, if he absolutely has to abandon one of the three, it would definitely be him. He had better prepare himself in advance, just in case. As the convoy advances on the water, Wu thinks that it is quiet, far too quiet. They haven't seen a single enemy on their way here. This is a force large enough to besiege the Namgung clan. It would be only normal for there to be some enemies in the water as well. He tells Hua to tell the mariners to lower the speed of the ships as much as possible, just in case. They do so, and they travel lightly through misty waters. Eventually, they see lights from a bunch of ships approaching, carrying a certain symbol. Most people believe that they are reinforcements, and that they have received Namgung clan's message. They are saved. Wu recognizes them as well. This is the 18 waterway strongholds of the Yangtze River. Have they come to help, just as Biok said? However, why are there so many ships? It's as if they are blocking their path. There was a lack of suspicious enemies too, and now dozens of ships are blocking their way. Finally, he understands what is going on. He screams at everyone that these are not reinforcements, and they have to turn the ships around. They must get out of here as fast as possible. He exclaims that those people are their enemies. They need to turn the ships around while they still can. However, Water Shadow can almost sense his words, and tells her men to fire, and they do so, coloring the sky in thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of fire arrows, completely eviscerating anyone in their way, and setting the ships alight. Wu himself protects some of the area with his power, but Bongsu turns around and sees that there are barely any ships left. Wu tells everyone to pull themselves together quickly and reverse the ship, but then he looks behind them and sees that they are completely cornered, having been flanked from behind. Seeing this, Wu says they are going to the shore. They should hurry and move the survivors there. However, there will be no survivors left. One of the enemy ships crashes into one of theirs, and Water Shadow crashes down with her club, giving only one order to her men to kill everyone. They begin doing just that, annihilating the defenseless people without prejudice, with glee, in fact. Seeing this, Wu clenches his teeth so hard it's surprising they don't break, and he goes to Hai immediately, hitting a pulse point on her head to knock her out. Hua wonders what he's doing, and Wu says that they have to reach the shore. Hua says that it's impossible, even for someone like him. To take all three of them is just too much. Wu notes that he will only be taking just two, and they both turn to Bongsu. He explains that he was greedy for his talent, which is why he planted the goo inside of him, intending to control him as he pleased, to serve as a cornerstone of the Tang clan. However, it seems that he has really grown old. He has grown attached to a mere doll like him. He will not kill him today, but he won't save him either. With that, he goes to the edge of the boat. Hua would like to say something, would like to help perhaps, but she notes that it's fruitless now. Wu calls Bongsu's name one final time, noting that the Tang clan may not even know of his existence yet, but he, the soul-chasing poison hand, will remember him for all of his life if he does not survive. With that, he jumps away, and reluctantly, Hua follows. Bongsu lies still as the ship he is on continues erupting in flames, but thinks that now, since there are no prying eyes watching him, he shall get started. One of Water Shadow's men rushes in, seeing that he is defenseless, and moves to kill him, but summoning his blade into his hand, Bongsu immediately cuts his head off, and begins dragging his headless body away. After that, he begins cutting up his own face, again, and again, and again, marking himself with his own brandished blade. He has a reason for this, naturally. The bandits of Water Shadow tell everyone to leave no survivors, and they impale the corpses with their swords to make sure they are dead. Suddenly, though, one of them sees him approaching as a bandit, noting that he looks like a mess. Is he okay? Bongsu says that he is all good. After all, he was just having some fun. The few survivors from their ships flounder in the water, some holding themselves up on wooden boards, but it's pretty clear that this is the end of their lives. Wu rushes away with Hua, but sees that there are lights on the shore as well. These are the dogs of the Heavenly Demon Castle. Did they hide their forces on land too? Without even a speck of preamble, Wu unleashes a devastating strike on them, killing them on the spot, and landing on the shore with steam billowing from his mouth. The few survivors that remain, along with Hua, crawl up to the shore as well. Wu notes that they should hurry, so they all begin walking, trudging to the forest, more as corpses than living beings. Bongsu has successfully infiltrated the bandits. He stares at the system message about class advancement vagabond and sees that he has 18 completed kills. Did any of the enemies he just killed meet the conditions? Suddenly, one of the bandits throws him a rag and tells him to cover his face with that at least. Does he have any idea about how he looks right now? Bongsu doesn't, but he can guess, so he covers himself. Suddenly, someone more rotund comes, noting that they have turned this place into a real bloodbath, haven't they? The bandit that spoke earlier immediately bows his head, calling him the Vice Stronghold leader, and the leader asks what the situation is. The bandit explains that they have killed everyone on the ships. However, Wu, along with a few experts and the remaining survivors, fled to the shore. The Vice Stronghold leader notes that he will have to speak with Water Shadow about this, so they should wait for further instructions. Bongsu watches this interaction with detached interest, as this will definitely be an interesting situation. Eventually, the vice leader arrives next to Water Shadow, who notes that he is late, calling him Shifting Shadow. Shifting Shadow did not expect her to know, but she explains that she has received word from Ash Shadow that he'd be coming, and there's that smile of his too. Whether he turns into a man or a woman, that never changes. Shifting Shadow understands he will have to keep that in mind then. What are they to do about Wu and the escapees? Water Shadow explains that, just as planned, they will be driving them to the Seonyung Mountain. That place shall become their tomb, including Wu's. Shifting Shadow understands the Seonyung Mountain, the half mountain and half valley. He will be hopelessly cornered at the edge of a cliff, climbing up as fast as he can, not even knowing it is his own grave, right? Water Shadow tells him to get ready. They will be heading out soon with the remaining forces. Shifting Shadow notes that one of the 10 greats against 2 shadows will be really fun. Actually, it could be 3, but it really doesn't matter. Certainty is always better than uncertainty, right? By the way, did he happen to see a strange fellow, someone with pitch black eyes, or perhaps an expert who uses martial arts that emit light? Water Shadow says that she has not, and Shifting Shadow continues walking. All 4 directions are completely blocked off, yet that guy vanished without a single trace. Well, this is nothing that a simple massacre can't fix, right? Wu retreats into the forest, as expected. They are being constantly harassed by enemy forces, and Wu takes them out expertly, not giving them a moment to react, as his incredible martial arts flows through them like water, leaving nothing behind. After this, he tells them that they will continue moving. However, one of them sees that his unit is completely tired, almost falling on their knees, and he notes that they will be resting for a moment, leaving Wu's group to go in front. The man thinks that only half of the Black Crow unit is left. No, perhaps it is even fewer. Danri Hui, who was supposed to come, has vanished without a trace. There is a slim chance that this applies to him too. They are in a situation where even the survival of the Black Crow unit cannot be guaranteed. They need to return to the Danri clan as soon as possible with news of this, as perhaps this is bigger than the Namgung clan. Suddenly though, he hears a shift in the bushes, and he immediately tells his unit to arise for battle. They do so, and he demands for the enemy to come out, and they do. It's the bandits from before, all eager to slay their enemies. And among them, naturally, is Bongsu, who is eager to increase his level and continue his path. The bandits rush in, telling each other not to leave a single one alive and to kill them all. And the Black Crow unit moves in as well, as they have to survive and return to the Danri clan. As the fighting begins, Bongsu immediately rushes at Da In Hyul, who knows that his own body is already at his limit. He can feel it. He has to settle this quickly somehow. He uses the single stream, 10-sword style, the Flying Swallow 10 successive swords, unleashing a flurry of strikes onto Bongsu that flow like water, but Bongsu is not hit by any of the strikes, as now he can see Da In Hyul's sword. Seeing that he dodged, Da In Hyul rushes in again, noting that his petty tricks will not work forever, but Bongsu meets his strike with one of his own, and twirls around in the air, kicking Da In Hyul in the face roughly. Bongsu immediately prepares to use the Three Forces sword, but Da In Hyul pulls out a blade he was hiding in his sleeve, and crashes it into Bongsu, seemingly hitting him. Da In Hyul thinks that this is his victory. However, Bongsu has protected himself with one of the bandits' corpses. shocking him as to how he even got it. Da In-hyul rushes back with a confused expression on his face. He was certain that he landed the perfect blow. Bongsu explains that someone once told him something like this: in a life-or-death battle between martial artists, the one who hides most has an advantage. So, is one hidden dagger all that he has prepared? Da In-hyul's heart stops as he sees those eyes, as he has definitely seen them somewhere before. Bongsu summons a bunch of daggers and sends them flying towards Da In-hyul in succession, all of them converging on his position. He blocks the few that he can, letting the others pass through and cut him, but he knew it. His eyes were not deceiving him after all. This bastard has been summoning something from thin air this entire time. Just what kind of malefic sorcery is this? Bongsu rushes in at the same time. Another bandit rushes from behind Da In-hyul. He notes that he cannot avoid this, but instead of hitting him, Bongsu hits the bandit roughly, killing him on the spot. Bongsu screams at him not to dare mess with his hunt. Seeing those eyes now, Da In-hyul remembers that violent red hue, that gaze. This is the bug from the Danri clan, the Sosum. How dare a lowly wretch like him do something like this? He charges in with newfound anger, demanding to know since when he has been deceiving them. Bongsu blocks his next strike, and Da In-hyul calls him a demon. It seems that the suicide plague in Bonggang must have been his doing as well, wasn't it? He throws Bongsu's sword away and rushes in again, noting that he was just someone cleaning horse dung in the noble clan. He is nothing but a worm. However, as he charges in, he does not see the sharp whip that Bongsu has flown around him, and with a pull, he takes off both of his hands before making him explode in blood and viscera, ending the fight. Bongsu has told him, the one who hides most, wins. As the bandits clear out the rest of the crowd, one of them wonders where the reinforcements are, and Bongsu agrees because from a certain point, the reinforcements that were trickling in stopped coming. There must be a reason for this. They need to check. Suddenly though, that same bandit notices that they are finally here. He has to admit the higher-ups are always so damn slow, but he also wonders what's with them. Why are they all wearing their clothes inside out? He calls out for the stronghold leader, asking why she is so late, but before he can say anything more, she unleashes such a devastating strike that he explodes, his hands, feet, and head flying in every direction. Water Shadow looks up at the sky and tells her men to leave none of them alive and kill them all. The bandits begin to kill each other, some asking to be spared and some hesitating, noting that they cannot do this anymore. How can they kill their own comrades? However, Water Shadow immediately takes care of them and screams that she will personally crush the skulls of anyone who dares to hesitate. Seeing this, the bandits value their own lives more and kill their comrades without much regret anymore. Bongsu manages to get out of the way and now moves away, seeing multiple lights light up the dark forest and someone screaming that, under the stronghold leader's order, none shall escape. Bongsu can see that they are everywhere, and he continues running. He's surprised they are killing even their fellow bandits. They've surrounded the mountain and are hurting people. It is basically a driving hunt. He has never been the prey before. This is kind of exciting. He continues rushing, coming upon a bunch of bandits that were resting, and cuts them all up with his sharp whip instantly, not giving them a chance at life. He sees that his next level up isn't far off either, and these guys are doing so much for him. Perhaps he can use them. Wu and the others continue running, having just taken care of a bunch of bandits. Hua asks Wu if he can feel it too, and he confirms as such. This is a driving hunt. They keep herding them towards the mountain peak. Suddenly, someone rushes in from their group, noting that they must come see this. He takes them out to where they were going, a seemingly bottomless pit filled with fog. Everyone begins to despair, some falling on their ass, others claiming that it's over and that they will die. Hearing this, Wu screams at them to shut up. Who says it is over? Even an old man like him has not given up, and they're already giving up their lives like this. They just have to kill every single bastard that comes here. Do they think that they cannot? The men immediately lose their bravado and agree, but suddenly, a bunch more bandits arrive. Everyone gets ready for battle, but one of them explains that they were attacked too. With Bongsu right behind him, Wu asks what he's talking about, and the bandit explains that they ran away. Those guys the stronghold leader brought attacked them. They were on the same side, so he doesn't know why. Wu wonders if this is an internal conflict. It seems that this is their chance. They need to break through their encirclement and head back right now. Wu tells them to move aside if they don't wish to die. They are heading back down the mountain. Suddenly though, someone calls out, "It's Shifting Shadow," noting that Wu ran really hard, and this is the best he could do. He looks just like a rat in a jar. He is accompanied by Water Shadow, who says nothing. Wu demands to know who the hell he is to be talking like this, and Shifting Shadow changes his face, noting that perhaps Wu recognizes him like this. Wu immediately becomes enraged as he sees Doyak, and Water Shadow tells Shifting Shadow that they do not have time for his little games. They should hurry up and deal with the soul-chasing poison hand. However, Shifting Shadow moves in front of her, noting that Wu is going to die anyway, so they should take their time. Besides, one guy has not arrived yet, and Shifting Shadow has something to ask him. He tells Wu to calm down a bit. He just has one little thing to ask before they clash. That piece of trash he was carrying around. Just where is he right now? Bongsu watches from a distance, wondering why they are even looking for him. Then the reckless move of killing even their own allies was this? No. Perhaps it is only natural, right? Considering the flash of light that night, and his intervention must have completely ruined their plans too. From their perspective, he is someone they absolutely have to hunt down and kill. His heart begins to beat in his chest. A manic sensation spreads through his body, warm like an embrace. Just how delightful is this feeling? Shifting Shadow notes that an expert capable of unleashing a flash of light like that couldn't possibly be dead. He is certain he is somewhere around here, so he screams out, telling him to come out now. He told him before, right, that they would definitely meet again. If he doesn't come out by the count of 3, he is as good as dead. Suddenly though, Bongsu begins killing the rest of the bandits around, and Shifting Shadow guesses that it is him. However, Bongsu has also leveled up, and that gigantic beam of light flows down on him again. Once it's gone, Bongsu is gone as well. Shifting Shadow wonders if he disappeared, but it wasn't that. It was only for a fleeting moment, but he saw a shadow within that light. Then, did he go down the cliff? No. Did he go by himself? But even Wu wouldn't be able to land in one piece if he jumped off the cliff like this. Did he end his own life perhaps? As he continues watching the cliff, wondering what is going on, Haye begins to slowly stir awake. Shifting Shadow scratches the back of his head, noting that he has quite a bad taste in his mouth because of this. It is a shame, but he supposes he will have to settle for them. Hiei slowly gets up, recognizing him as young Master Du, and wonders what the meaning of this is. Why is he like this? Shifting Shadow wonders, was she always such an idiot who could not grasp the situation? Wu tells everyone to fall back, but before the battle can begin, a familiar voice screams at them to wait and hold on a minute. He moves through the bandits. It's none other than Hai-Al, who wonders, surely they weren't about to start the feast without someone as great as him, right? Wu is extremely wary of seeing another one of them, as the ones before were already at the level of their clan's peak realm experts, and now, there's a similar one too. However, Wu sees that Hai-Al has something in his hands that makes his old wise eyes widen. Hai-Al notes that he brought a little gift with him to commemorate this event. He throws the head of someone on the ground, with that someone being none other than the Namgung clan patriarch. Everyone is shocked, with Haye immediately crouching down at the head of her grandpa and clutching it in her hands. Wu is a mask of cold, unawakened fury. Seeing the situation, Hai-Al can't help himself but laugh with manic glee at Haye cradling her dead grandfather like that and sobbing her eyes out. The first beauty of Anhui is really a fitting title for her. He is glad that he brought the gift. He knew it. A beautiful woman's ruined, crying face is what turns him on the most. As he comes down from his amused state, he sees that his comrades really aren't that impressed, and he wonders why the mood is like this. Why is he the only one laughing? Is he not supposed to be turned on or something? Water Shadow notes that he really is a crazy bastard, and even Shifting Shadow notes that he isn't human after all. Hai-Al points at them, noting that they crushed the Namgung clan, and even Wu will die by their hands soon enough. That makes 2 beyond peak realm expert heads and 2 wives to have by his side too, which is always better than 1. Hearing this, Wu charges an amazing amount of power into the needles and throws both Haye and Hua away, right over the cliff. He explains that he has poured half of his remaining internal energy into the Dragon Phoenix golden needles. It is certainly not enough to safely descend the cliff. Their limbs or something else might be crippled for life, but the 2 of them surviving is the most important thing for him. Shifting Shadow points at him, asking what he is doing, but Wu screams at Hua of the Sichuan Tang clan. She must survive, even if she breaks, even if she is ruined. She must live on and return one day to repay the blood debt for him, Tang Wu. With that, they fall to the ground pretty roughly, and Hai-Al clutches his head, screaming like he lost the lottery. He immediately rushes in, asking how Wu dares to take his wives. Upon Wu unleashing his entire aura, he immediately takes a step back, as he knows he will die if he moves a step further. Wu tells them to come, as the only thing he has left is the empty name of the 10 Greats. From this moment forth, the soul-chasing poison hand shall reap their spirit essence and carve their mistakes into their flesh. As Bongsu falls down the mountain, he uses one of the bodies to steady his fall, and drives his blade into the mountain range. He has descended about 500 meters so far. The remaining distance is about 1,200 to 1,500 meters. While going down a cliff like this is basically life-ending. With his body strengthened from leveling up, if he uses the corpses in his inventory as a buffer to slow his descent as much as possible, it would not be impossible to get down safely. However, that's when his sword catches in a particularly rocky part of the cliffside, and he falls off of it completely. Seeing this, he activates his inventory, summoning a bunch of them, and uses them as stepping stools as he grabs another sword and makes his way back onto the cliffside, riding yet another corpse. Whether it is Tang Wu or even the enemy, they will all end up at the bottom of the cliff eventually. He will survive this descent somehow, and then look for an opportunity. Shifting Shadow notes that Wu just activated his poison arts. He thought he would not be able to use them because of those tag-alongs, but to think this stubborn old man would take such a gamble with his granddaughter's life until the very end. However, making this kind of decision means that he's already been pushed onto the defensive. He calls out for everyone to attack the soul-chasing poison hand and kill him. The different bandits all charge him, stopping for nothing, not even the people in front of them. They all continue their charge, counting in the hundreds if not thousands. But as they approach him, Wu suddenly unleashes the soul-dementing ghost poison hand, unleashing such a toxic aura that it completely melts the people around him in a power that is overwhelming and blinding. The three commanders are safe for now. They can see the destruction that Wu has wrought with only that much power. Shifting Shadow did not expect him to be able to use such an attack right now. If they had not taken the antidote beads beforehand, they would have melted too. However, Hyol doesn't seem to have been granted that mercy. As the poison overtakes his body, making him look even uglier, he wonders how they are completely fine. Water Shadow throws him one of the beads, and he immediately pops it in his mouth, allowing him to live another day. He finally feels alive, but he is a little mad that they kept these things to themselves. Suddenly, their talk is interrupted by Wu taking out yet another bandit who screams and pleads for help. But Wu grants him no mercy. He can see that they took antidote beads. They came fully prepared to kill this old man. That being said, the one standing before them right now is one of the 10 greats of the entire Murim. The shadows know they messed up, and Wu immediately charges in before they can even react. But Water Shadow strikes at him with a blow so hard that it seemingly breaks through Wu's poison defense, making her smile as the strike goes through the sky and parts the clouds. Suddenly, a needle appears right in front of her eyes, aiming to kill her. Shifting Shadow grabs it just in time, asking Wu what he thinks he's doing. Does he expect a mere hidden weapon to work? Suddenly though, with a shift of his pinky and thumb, the hidden weapon becomes a bomb that blows up spectacularly. Hyol jumps up, calling Wu a crazy old man. He should stop throwing hidden weapons like the coward he is and fight him fair and square. He unleashes the shadowed phantom bloom onto Wu, who wonders if fighting 3-on-1 is not just as cowardly. He lets out a bunch more hidden weapons and makes them blow up all around Hyol, who is forced to dodge, noting that they are all incredibly petty. However, using that distraction, Wu has perforated his shin with one of his poison attacks, having gotten one of them. With this leverage, Wu pulls Hyol right in front of him, and Hyol knows that he has to block this incoming strike, as he will surely be dead if not. Wu's hand, which seemed normal at first, is so fast and strikes everywhere all at once, this being a pressure point strike that leaves Hyol unable to move his body any further. Wu grabs his hair and notes that he will start by gouging out those filthy eyes that dare to look at his granddaughter. That way, he takes out one of the eyes, making Hyol scream loudly, but suddenly Shifting Shadow attacks with a strike that Wu can barely dodge himself. Now he realizes this was a palm technique, so that was his true skill, not the saber technique he used earlier. The Shifting Shadow charges in, using the Thunderclap 100 Strikes palm, while Wu himself uses the Delusional 6 Acupoint Bloody Hand. Their strikes shake the entire mountainside, and Wu can see that he is actually being pushed back somehow. Shifting Shadow notes that his internal energy is finally going to run out. It's over for him. He all himself can't believe it. He cannot see anything. He really cannot see anything anymore. His precious eyes, meant for looking at beautiful women, were taken by a bastard old man. He charges up his sword and throws it with vitriol at Wu, even though he cannot see him, wanting to drag him down with him. Shifting Shadow can sense the sword behind him and dodges just in time, allowing it to hit Wu completely. Because of this, Shifting Shadow is given the opportunity to strike at Wu once again, sending him flying. Water Shadow appears behind Wu and strikes him extremely hard, right back into the mountainside. Silence falls briefly before Hyol screams, "That old bastard took my eyes. I will slit his throat right now." Shifting Shadow, however, tells him to wait, as Wu appears in front of them, his left hand mangled and broken but still able to move, surprising everyone. He takes a step further and they do so as well, before charging in at once. Wu unleashes a tendril strike right below them, activating the hidden weapons he planted beneath, unleashing a bunch of poison and covering their field of view. Water Shadow, however, charges through, trying to hit Wu with her numerous attacks, but he dodges each one with expert precision, despite his injuries and tiredness, even unleashing a few hidden weapons into her. She can also see that he's been aiming at the same spot of her weapon this entire time, aiming to break it. However, she notes that it's useless. Hyol charges in, and they unleash a double strike at Wu, who simply dodges, allowing their weapons to collide, and unleashing another hidden weapon, causing it to blow up spectacularly with this blinding light. Wu knows that he must kill Shifting Shadow for sure, so he charges in with incredible power. However, his broken hand is suddenly grabbed by none other than Water Shadow, who wonders where he is going, as they are not done yet. She opens her jaws widely before crushing them into Wu's hand, making him scream out in pain. Wu knows he cannot keep relying on hidden weapons, as this bastard will regain his senses soon. This is his last chance to kill him. He also knows that this woman will not let go of his hand, so if that is the case, he rips it off himself and charges in at Shifting Shadow, presumably killing him as he falls off the cliff. Now he only has two to deal with. Wu steps in front of them, knowing full well that he has run out of internal energy and hidden weapons. All that remains to defend himself with is this old, broken body. Both he and Water Shadow unleash devastating strikes upon each other, making them recoil back. This gives Hyol the opportunity to dash in, telling the old man to die, but then Wu dodges with the lazy donkey roll technique, making Hyol even madder. He dares to call himself one of the 10 greats, and he uses a technique with such dishonor. Wu wonders what he's talking about. He threw honor, and his entire reason for being off this cliff a long time ago, unleashing a devastating strike onto Hyol and sending him into Water Shadow. Seeing this, she grabs Hyol's leg and uses him as a club to crash into Wu, who recoils back roughly. Wu is getting increasingly annoyed now, as he falls and steadies himself on his feet. Water Shadow throws Hyol's presumed body away, with Wu wondering if she thinks he would be defeated by the likes of them, cowards who possess neither the resolve to face death nor the courage to sacrifice a single thing. With that, they clash once again, the fight going on until the sun rises over the horizon. Wu stands victorious, clutching the head of Water Shadow, one hand gone but his resolve unwavering. Hyol can't believe it. Even with 3 shadows and over 100 warriors, they could not kill a single old man. Hyol has now become truly fearful, and he tells Wu to stay away as he approaches, as he does not want anything to do with him. However, right under the cliffside, a familiar hand reaches out and begins climbing up. Hyol tries to use sand to blind Wu, who does not even move, does not say anything, and does not even close his eyes as he mutters something. The light in his eyes is dimming completely, almost. Hyol wonders if he lost his mind, but then how is he still moving? Wu drops Water Shadow and reaches his hand toward Hyol. The one from behind charges in, and Wu can immediately feel them redirecting his strike, but then he sees that it is Hua. He wonders how that is possible. Having completely forgotten that Shifting Shadow can change his body, Wu is caught. Shifting Shadow is glad to have finally gotten him, despite being one of the 10 greats. He is still a sentimental old man. He throws him away right next to the cliffside, and Hyol asks if it's Shifting Shadow. Shifting Shadow does not even hear him, thinking that this was pretty close. If there had been just a little more internal energy in Wu's punch, he would not have been able to climb the cliff and would have died instantly. However, now it is their victory. Hyol regains his confidence, noting that this is right. He really thought he was just going to die just now. He should forget about dying peacefully. He will gouge out his eyes, sever his limbs, and slit his throat until the very end. Naturally, his head will go down the cliff, and those wenches will also die with him. However, his expression falters as he sees Wu, despite the hole in his chest, hold out his hand for a technique. It pales in comparison to the original, but if this is where his life ends, then, imperfect though as it may be, it is what it must be. Even if he had to burn away every single last shred of life and chi that he has left, he will defeat them. He begins using the heaven-shrouding petal rain, summoning hundreds and thousands of hidden weapons along the cliffside that he has used up until now, activating all of them in a strike so fantastic that it completely overwhelms the entire cliffside, making it look like a blinding light show. Wu, who falls down the cliffside, is thinking of Hua, having wanted to see her get married before he died. So, if there is only one wish he has to the gods, or to anyone listening, it's for her to survive. Naturally, Bongsu has heard the explosion, and he knows what it means. He stands over the broken bodies that he has used to survive, and he is glad that Tang Wu is finally coming so that he can reap his generous reward. Eventually, Wu wakes up again, still alive somehow. His body won't move, so his condition is critical. He can see that both of his arms are now destroyed, along with both of his legs. His innate ki has dissipated completely, and he will die soon enough. He looks around, seeing the entire valley filled with corpses being feasted on by blood-sucking butterflies. However, Wu can see that among the corpses of the fallen guests and pirates, some did not die from the fall. Someone finished them off, and that someone is standing right above him. He recognizes him. It's Bongsu. Wu puts two and two together. The martial artist slaughtered at the bottom of the cliff, a blood-stained sword, and Bongsu looking at him as if he had been waiting. Wu now knows he is not Tang Sam. Just who is he? Bongsu leans over him, blade in hand, noting that he has no real idea how long he has waited for this precious moment. Wu calls him a bastard, noting that he personally bestowed the Tang family name on him, and now he dares to kill him. He's a beastly wretch. He dares try to bite his own master. He knew it. He should have killed him on that ship back then. He screams at the goo he put inside of Bongsu, telling it to tear apart its host body, and laughs. Did he forget that the goo is still inside of him? Soon it will shred his body to pieces, making him bleed from all of his orifices. However, Bongsu almost crashes his blade into his eye, holding his gaze with a manic expression. He knows what Wu is talking about, and he took that thing out a long time ago. Wu is shocked, and wonders how he would ever be able to do such a thing. Bongsu notes that this place is a world of madmen, learning the killing arts known as martial arts. Madmen who live under the law, where the weak are prey to the strong, sometimes in the name of the orthodox, sometimes in the name of the unorthodox, sometimes in the name of the demonic. They enforce their justice under the guise of violence. In this place where strength is order, there are butterflies fluttering in the sky, and he was the caterpillar crawling on the ground. Now, right now in this fallen valley, he will kill Tang Wu, and become the butterfly as well, and once again become a hunter who hunts down beasts known as martial artists. Bongsu laughs as Wu is his greatest prey, and he shall cherish this memory forevermore. Wu tells him to stay away. For him, the soul-chasing poison hand, being killed by a mere guard dog he raised, is unthinkable. It cannot be. However, Bongsu still goes through with it, and suddenly he levels up once again, this time much harder, much further than ever before, lighting up the entire valley and clearing the skies. He stands on a corpse, completely refreshed, and can see it. He has gained 10 levels. It is a significant amount, but it falls short compared to the reputation of the soul-chasing poison hand. He thought he would get a much better reward. He looks at Wu, who is a total wreck. Was he experiencing this surge because Wu was already dying? Perhaps. If they could reduce Tang Wu to this state, the ones left up there, if he goes to them now, he wouldn't be a match for them, or they would have already fled, and would be hard to catch in the first place. His first-class advancement is almost complete, needing only one kill. He pulls his blade out of Wu's eye, cleaning it as he knows Wu could not have fallen down here all by himself. He has not spotted her yet, but she definitely must be somewhere nearby. He only needs one more kill after all, until he advances to the vagabond. Hua herself wakes up in a crater slowly, her entire body aching. She tries to get up, seeing that one of her legs is entirely broken. She wonders how long she has been passed out, but she is alive. That alone is enough. She looks beside her and sees that Water Shadow is also there, but she has not had the same luck to fall on even ground. She fell on one of the rocks. She approaches, wanting to see if she's alive, but it is pretty clear that she is not, her head being crushed into the rock. Hua bites her lower lip until blood comes out and begins crawling away, as Wu told her to survive, so she has to survive and return to the Tang clan. She continues crawling and crawling through the red mist until eventually she spots someone who is none other than Bongsu, wondering how he is even here. However, he is not here to rescue her. He is here to complete his objective. Hua wonders how he is here, but then she screams out, commanding him to help her as she needs to return to the Tang family. One of her legs is broken. However, that's when she sees something familiar on Bongsu's dagger. She remembers the moments she had with her grandfather, who told her that those who build their internal energy using poison inevitably accumulate poison inside of their bodies. The more they train, the more they become poisoned humans with poison flowing through their bones, muscles, and even their blood. Of course, the accumulated poison is not enough to be a major threat, but it is enough to melt a piece of iron just like this. She should not slack off on her training, as one day she too will reach that realm. No, she would become a martial artist who surpasses even him, seeing that same erosion on his dagger. She knows that he killed her grandfather. She wonders why her grandfather even bestowed his surname onto him. So why did Bongsu betray them? She rushes in with her broken body, trying to rip his skin away from his shins, swearing to kill him. However, Bongsu just looks at her with absolute disdain and holds his knife up, ready to kill her. However, seeing her like this, he realizes that they are all bugs. Manhwa is essentially a colossal goo jar made by the heavenly demon castle. 3 insects struggle to survive, killing and being killed by one another constantly. Was it not said that the longer the bug survives within the jar, the more toxic it gets? If all the other bugs die, and only one survives alone, just how much will that accumulated toxicity strengthen her? He crouches down, thinking about it. Killing her now will not mean much, and it might not even satisfy the quest conditions either, because she is far too weak. She wonders what kind of bullshit he is spouting right now, but Bongsu suddenly smashes his dagger into the ground before her. Just as she said, he killed Tang Wu. Therefore, she should come and claim the price of Tang Wu's life from him, as he will be desperately waiting to see what kind of bug she grows into. Seeing the absolute confidence with which he says it, and the gall to not kill her right now, she screams out in rage, cursing him, swearing upon her very soul that he will regret not killing her this day. Now, to Bongsu, the entire Murim is one giant goo jar, the orthodox and unorthodox, and the heavenly demon castle. Soon, countless of these bugs will swarm the Murim and start killing each other. To survive and hunt, he must become stronger than he is now. He needs to become at least strong enough to hold his own in a battle against an expert of Wu's caliber. To advance to a vagabond, he will need to properly hit level 30 as well. To do that, he needs to hunt more fiercely than ever before. After a bit of introspection, he smiles as he changes his hunting ground to a place with a lot more blood, a lot more battles, and definitely a lot more experience points. Inside of the destroyed cliffside, the 3 shadows finally land from the sky while calling Wu a crazy bastard until the end. He detonated all those hidden weapons right in front of their faces. He told the Tang clan that heaven-shrouding petal rain was lost, but that was not the complete version. He lacked the internal energy, and the technique only had the form. He merely detonated the hidden weapons he planted all around. However, he is impressed too, to think that it had such power despite that. They really got lucky. If they had not used Water Shadow as a shield, they would have definitely been annihilated. Hyol agrees. She is a tough cookie after all. She is still alive thanks to her hard Kui, though, even though she is half dead. Shifting Shadow begins walking away, telling him to take her and return to Muban, as he will be heading to the Murim Alliance and preparing the second stratagem. Hyol immediately refuses. Does he really want him to go to Muban alone? Does he really want him to die or something? No, they will go together if that's the case. However, Shifting Shadow just leaves, leaving Hyol in such fear that his teeth begin to chatter. They go to Muban's castle. Hyol stops at the door, hyping himself up so that he doesn't piss himself the moment he walks in. With a loud, heavy breath, he opens the large doors, revealing Muban. He immediately gets on his knees like a dog, and notes that they have completed the first stratagem he ordered without any issue. Of course, Water Shadow was slightly injured. However, there were really no issues at all. The Namgung clan has been annihilated, and he even took the Patriarch's head himself. Before he can say anything further, Muban suddenly appears behind him from his throne. The air is silent, almost unmoving, but the pressure Muban exudes is real. He wishes for Hyol to repeat what he just said. Was the first stratagem truly completed without any issues? This is Muban, someone of great power, with eyes resembling those of Bongsu, those of a real and true killer. Hyol immediately gasps and bows his head, confirming that this is correct. Muban hits him with a wave of ki, causing the ground beneath them to shatter. Muban wonders, if it truly proceeded without issue, then why did Shifting Shadow go to the Murim Alliance, and why had Water Shadow been returned to him half dead? Hyol can barely muster a few nonsensical words before Muban looks at him, and warns that if something like this ever happens again, Hyol will not die an easy death. He asks if he understands, and Hyol immediately confirms as such. Muban then makes his way to Water Shadow and puts his hand on her face. He tells her that countless streams eventually return to their source. In the end, there is no distinction between oneself and another. Her flesh may perish, that is for certain, but her Kai ocean shall flow through his veins evermore. This is called a return of all streams to the source, so she shall become whole again through him. Absorbing her ki, Muban changes considerably, becoming far younger. Hyol looks at this and bows his head, congratulating him on the transformation. He dares to look up, and Muban is already next to him, curious about something. He puts a hand on Hyol's face and wonders why the first stratagem failed. Through gritted teeth, Hyol explains that there was someone who was not part of that plan. According to Shifting Shadow, the man appeared alongside the soul-chasing Poison Hand, but fell from the cliffs of Seongjung. He was also an expert who emitted light. Muban is a little curious about that last part, and Hyol, catching on, continues explaining, noting that he emitted a pillar of light. Immediately, Muban's eyes widen, perhaps in surprise or indignation. He gets up and calls over Byung and Gwangun. They both immediately arrive at his side, and he begins ordering them. He tells Byung to take Hyol to the bottom of the cliff of Seongjung. If the man is dead, they shall bring his corpse back to Muban, and if his bones are shattered into pieces, they shall bring every piece back as well. Byung agrees and leaves with Hyol. Muban then orders Gwangun to send a message to Old Baek. Gwangun is apprehensive because the task is dangerous. Gwangun suggests that Muban should reconsider. However, Muban gives him a look that says it. He will not be repeating himself. Gwangun jumps away as well. Muban looks at the ceiling for a while and thinks about that pillar of light. Perhaps it was a level up after all. The next day, somewhere else, a messenger raven arrives before an old man, who picks up the message and reads it languidly. He gets up from his bench and begins walking towards one of the taverns. Eventually, he finds his target, a woman who is basically half naked. He calls her Miss Yan as he approaches, and notes that he must tell her something. A letter arrived from Muban asking them to find someone. She tells him to wait, as she's still eating, and he wisely decides to do so, not wanting to incur her wrath. After finishing her cup of sake, she puts it down with a hard clink and goes to the shopkeeper, asking how much it is. The sleazy shopkeeper says it's 3 coins, and as she pulls them from her inner pocket, he begins to look at her assets. He notes that a young lady drinking all this alcohol in broad daylight really is interesting. If she ever needs drinks with a hearty snack, she should come by his tavern again, as he could even drink with her. Sensing what he means, Yan instead pulls out a single coin and throws it in the air, making it spiral before it lands beneath her foot. The shopkeeper slams his table, demanding to know what she's doing, but Yan, exuding an entirely different aura, asks, "Heads or tails?" The shopkeeper finds no reason to play along with her game, but as he looks into her eyes, which now seem like endless pools of white streaked with black, he begins sweating profusely. He dares not meet her eyes again, saying, "Heads." Yan looks down at the coin, pinned beneath her foot, and sure enough, the coin shows heads. The tavern keeper immediately celebrates, and Yan says that this is boring, as she turns away to leave. He tells her to have a safe trip, and slumps on his desk. That woman was probably a martial artist. He almost died over 3 measly coins. However, he does die as Yan appears behind him, and drives her index finger through his skull, killing him instantly. The old man returns to Yan's side, and wonders, did the coin not clearly come up as heads? Yan simply turns the coin over, revealing tails. Is it not? The old man lets out an exasperated sigh, and notes that it will be rather difficult to clean this up in broad daylight. Yan doesn't really care. They can just kill everyone, or Yan can do it herself, just like she killed this guy. The old man refuses, and begins unsheathing his blade, claiming that he will. He starts to walk out, but before he leaves, Yan asks about what he was saying earlier. Who did the letter say they have to find? At the Murim Alliance, a meeting is well underway late in the evening. The Murim Great Council meeting. This is the Murim Alliance leader, the Taoist sage of heaven. Someone else, the Hebei Peng clan patriarch Peng Muhyok, asks pretty loudly if the rumor that the Namgung clan was annihilated by the heavenly demon castle is true. Another attendee, the matriarch of the Sichuan Tang family, Tang Hua Ryan, calls him a fool. Brother Tang has already crossed the Yellow Springs. Does he still believe it is just a rumor? Peng Muhyok immediately gets mad at her, but the alliance leader tells both of them to calm down. According to their investigations, it is true that the Namgung clan was attacked by the heavenly demon castle. Someone else, Hyun Yang of the Wudang sect, notes that those bastards have finally done what he has foretold, and Abbot Bang Choyon of the Shaolin Temple simply prays for the lost souls. The alliance leader continues, explaining that they have been quiet for hundreds of years, and though it is a mystery as to why they chose to reveal themselves at this point, it is clear that their power is extraordinary. Yang agrees that their power is great enough to exterminate an entire clan like that, but the alliance leader tells him it is not extermination because there is still one survivor. He presents to them the second daughter of the Namgung clan, Namgung Hye. She greets her seniors. Tang Hua Ryan is surprised to see a survivor, and asks this child of Namgung to tell them what happened. Were the ones who attacked the clan and killed Brother Tang truly from the heavenly demon castle? Hye confirms that the attack was indeed carried out by the heavenly demon castle. If it had not been for the elder soul-chasing poison hand, she would have died at that place as well. The Zhuge clan patriarch, Zhuge Moon, understands the situation, but they must still be cautious. First, they must determine the scale of the enemy. Before he can finish, however, Tang Hua Ryan immediately throws one of her poisonous pins towards him, clearly enraged. Peng Muhyok slams the table as he gets up, noting that she's been acting arrogant since earlier. Can she not grasp the situation? She screams that they're the ones who cannot grasp reality. It's the Heavenly Demon Castle. The Heavenly Demon Castle invaded the very courtyard of the Namgung clan and laid waste to its people, and they are talking about caution? That is foolish. This is a declaration of war. They must make preparations at once. Moon gets up too, and tells her that this is exactly what the Heavenly Demon Castle is aiming for. Countless rivers of blood will be spilled over something pointless. Tang Hua Ryan looks at the alliance leader and notes that he was the one who called them here. He does not plan to just sit idly by like that fool suggested, right? Everyone looks at the alliance leader, and he sighs, a rather sinister smile spreading across his face. Of course, it means war. Too much blood of their orthodox faction has been shed because of this incident, so the law of the Murim is to pay them back tenfold. Tang Hua Ryan immediately agrees. It's sword for sword and blood for blood. The immutable rule of the Murim. The alliance leader tells them to listen well, as they are all pillars of the Murim gathered here. As of this moment, the Murim alliance formally declares war against the Heavenly Demon Castle. Shifting Shadow smiles under his breath, as it seems he got what he wanted. That night, the alliance leader walks with Moon, and notes that matriarch Tang was blinded by the rage over her son's death. Rumor has it that one of the children who left with her son has returned to the Tang family in a terrible state. Moon should be generous and overlook her disrespect today. It has been hard on her. Moon nods and says he does not mind in the slightest. In fact, the greater the Tang family's rage, the better, because it means they will fight more fiercely in the vanguard against the Heavenly Demon Castle. The alliance leader laughs, as this is why he likes Moon so much. See, they have sent missives to the other sects. All the orthodox factions will soon unite. The Central Plains will shatter. Hundreds of years of peace will be gone just like that, scattered in blood. Honestly, the alliance leader has been getting pretty sick of it. Those who are human butchers at their core have merely been sitting at tables wearing the mask of the orthodox path. Moon says that the alliance leader is not wrong, and looks up at the sky, as he is aware that the cursed killing star has just risen. Its timing aligns perfectly with the matter of the Heavenly Demon Castle, so the alliance leader should be wary. The alliance leader repeats the name. The cursed killing star. Huh? The one that calls for blood whenever it rises. Legend has it that one born under the extreme yin cursed killing star possesses the power of supernatural monsters and chaotic gods. However, considering the Murim is already built upon corpses, what significance could one star possibly hold? Naturally, however, the alliance leader will keep Moon's words in mind. With that swift farewell, the alliance leader turns and walks away, leaving Moon to look up at a star alone. The Murim is built on blood and corpses. That is quite right, for this place is already the Murim. Immediately after the Murim alliance had officially declared war, countless Orthodox and Heavenly Demon Castle sects clashed across the land, bathing the Murim in a new shade of red. The early advantage in this war, known as the Orthodox Demonic Great War, went to the Heavenly Demon Castle as the Orthodox sects were helpless against the attacks from their secret branches. After that, the Murim alliance continued to lose ground, and, just as people began saying the Heavenly Demon Castle would unite the Murim under a new rule, Tang Hua Ryan, the cold-blooded witch and matriarch, suffered an arm injury, and as if waiting for an opening, the Heavenly Demon Castle launched an all-out assault with overwhelming numbers, annihilating the Tang family completely. Riding that momentum, the Heavenly Demon Castle went on to occupy even Mount Kongtong, Kunlun, Eme, and Qingcheng. But perhaps that became part of their downfall as the Heavenly Demon Castle toppled one orthodox sect after the other. The mid-sized and small factions across the Central Plains, sensing this crisis, began to move. With that shift in the winds, sects both small and large from across the land gathered in Zhengzhou to join the Murim alliance. Because of that, the war entered an entirely new phase. The Heavenly Demon Castle, which had advanced as far as Jiangshi, the heart of the Central Plains, was soon pushed back to Gansu, and the Murim alliance, riding that momentum, retook Mount Kongtong and the lands of Sichuan. The war grew fiercer with each passing day, but neither side could overwhelm the other. In the end, the Orthodox Demonic Great War began to show signs of dragging on and entered what could perhaps be its last stage, a war of attrition. Thus, after more than a year had passed, even the flames of the war were dying down. However, another massive battle is unfolding in the northern reaches of the Central Plains. A group is attacking the Guishui fortress. They have to slay the barbarians and bring down that fortress no matter what. Someone screams for the catapults and battering rams to be brought out. The catapults are loaded mostly with corpses. Suddenly, Bongsu pushes one of the soldiers aside and climbs onto a catapult, declaring that he will enter the fortress himself. The soldier wonders if he has gone insane. Does he mean to fly in on a catapult? That thing is loaded with plague-ridden corpses meant to be launched into the fortress. As the soldier tries to stop him, an old man approaches and covers the soldier's mouth, calling him a dumb idiot. Does he have any idea who that is? The old man addresses Bongsu as Lord Ear Ghost and tells him that they will fire as ordered. However, the distance is great, so it will be difficult to land precisely inside the fortress. Bongsu simply looks at them, then cuts the catapult line himself, launching into the air alongside the plague-ridden corpses. He uses them as stepping stones to enter the fortress. The old man is surprised. The ear ghost truly does use strange martial arts resembling the legendary Void Walk. However, they also notice that the catapult has disappeared, likely because Bongsu stored it in his inventory. The barbarians continue holding the fortress, and the overlord of the northern Yuan, Timur Khan, waits patiently. However, his wolf begins to growl as Bongsu makes his presence known. Timur notes that he has heard many tales about Bongsu, a ghost of the battlefield who appears out of nowhere with no name or origin. Bongsu was the one who hurled corpses over the fortress walls, right? He is a man without a trace of a warrior's pride. Thanks to Bongsu, Timur and his men are in a pretty sorry state. Timur throws the rest of his meal to his wolf and gets up. This is the final battle of Timur Khan, son of the great grasslands and the sky. He asks Bongsu for his true name, but Bongsu refuses to give it. Instead, he simply says catapult, and the catapult appears before Bongsu, allowing him to hurl it at Timur. Bongsu immediately opens his status window and sees that his XP is unchanged, meaning that he did not level up as expected. He realizes that tricks like this will not cut it, and begins drawing his blade just as the wolf jumps at him, catching the drawn blade between its sharp teeth. At the same time, Timur rushes in, noting that these cheap tricks will not work on someone like him. He unleashes a devastating earth-splitting strike and lands heavily. He expects Bongsu to be dead, which disappoints him, but a red malevolent strike suddenly appears before him, forcing him to deflect it. Bongsu notes that he was just starting to get bored with hunting, and that killing Timur will raise him to level 30. Timur wonders what the hell he's talking about, but Bongsu does not expect Timur to understand. Bongsu begins cutting himself, causing blood to pour from his body, and leaving himself at 20 HP, and increasing his stats by 10%. Bongsu tells Timur to shut up and die, eager to hurry back to the central plains where the real prey is. Sometime earlier, Timur Khan, the last descendant of the great Khan who unified the north and coveted the skies of the west, took advantage of the chaos in the central plains caused by the Great War, and led his men into another war. The overlord of the north was the final prey in the new hunting ground Bongsu had entered for leveling up and class advancement. The moment Bongsu saw Timur, he instinctively knew that Timur was the last prey he had to hunt there. However, this man of the north was strong, wealthy from plunder, and above all, had an army hunting Bongsu down. Bongsu needed an army of his own. For the first time, Bongsu revealed himself, slaughtering enemies across numerous battles and cutting off their ears. People began calling him Ear Ghost, and more people started following him. After growing stronger by drinking the blood of both ally and enemy alike, he killed Marmota, Timur Khan's right-hand man, and managed to drive the Khan into the Guishui fortress. Even after that, Bongsu threw corpses inside and infected Timur with a terrible corpse plague. Now that's why Timur is so mad, but he also wonders how this half-dead man is still able to move. What in the world is making this living corpse fight? They clash, their powers colliding violently, but Timur seems to get the upper hand as he sends Bongsu flying. Timur calls out for his wolf, Kaizi, who rushes at Bongsu to end his life, but Bongsu uses his inventory to drive a blade through the wolf's head, killing it on the spot. Timur wonders if that's what Bongsu used to kill Marmota, a silent, traceless blade that appears without warning. The catapult from before must have worked similarly, but that is a shallow technique. If Bongsu thinks he can kill Timur with such a petty trick, Bongsu's arrogance will be his end today. Even as Timur smiles, blood begins to flow from his mouth, and Bongsu smiles too, as that's some big talk from a man who is about to die. On their last legs, they charge at each other, and Bongsu uses a consecutive strike, actually managing to push Timur back with his attacks growing faster. Timur decides to use the void-shattering Helix Heaven Piercer, a twirling technique that crashes into Bongsu's blade. Seeing Bongsu manage to block it, Timur declares that he will shatter Bongsu and his blade, and pushes harder, driving the spinning attack toward Bongsu. Bongsu is not done, however, and charges back. Timur barely having time to dodge the attack as it cuts his nose. A bunch more blades appear from the sky, and Timur cannot believe this insolence. He begins to deflect the blades one after another and tells Bongsu once again that such petty tricks will never be enough to end him. Seeing this, Bongsu decides to throw Marmota's corpse towards Timur, and indeed, in that moment of hesitation, Bongsu rushes through the opening, managing to pierce Timur with his blade, but Timur pierces him as well. Bongsu does not expect Timur to drive a spear through the man who was once Timur's right-hand man, just to reach Bongsu, but Timur laughs, as that man is dead. This is nothing but a leftover lump of meat. For the true warriors of the North, being alive is a struggle. They live to die, and die to keep on living. Marmota is dead, and has finally found rest, so there is no need to worry about his corpse now. Bongsu understands that Timur keeps moving for the sake of his own glorious death. Timur also wants to know one thing. Did Marmota die with a smile? Bongsu looks at Marmota's corpse and smiles, thinking that perhaps he did. Timur is pleased with that information and rushes in again, wanting to see which of them will find rest at the end of this battle. They clash once again, pouring all of their ki into the collision and sending whirlwinds of snow across the mountainside. However, Timur is defeated, with a large hole torn through his belly. Timur asks what that final move was, and with only one arm left, Bongsu tells him it was a martial art he created himself. Thank you for watching. See you next time.